geographical constituencies. I declare the motion passed. Members' motion with no legislative effect. Mr. Perry Yu's motion on reinforcing Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidating its position as a world-class premier tourism destination. 3 members will move amendments to the motion. This Council will proceed to a joint debate on the motion and the amendments. Later, I will first call upon Mr. Perry Yu to speak and move the motion. Then I will call upon Ms. CHAN Yuet-ming, Ms. Elizabeth QUAT, and Ms. Joephy Chan to speak in sequence, but they may not move the amendments at this stage. The joint debate now begins. Members who wish to speak, please press the Request to Speak button. I now call upon Mr. Perry Yu to speak and move the motion. Deputy President, I move that the motion as printed on the agenda be passed. Deputy President, I thank the government for its efforts to promote tourism industry in Hong Kong. I also thank fellow colleagues for your invaluable insights to promote the developments of the tourism industry. And my motion seeks to take your views on how we can reinforce Hong Kong's tourism hub position under Tourism 2.0 blueprints and the GBA development blueprints for tourism development. How can we develop Hong Kong into a dual role of global tourism hub?
How can we make use of the core demonstrations of effect to enhance our competitiveness? President, we have seen a change in the external environment. There are now uncertainties in the economy. If we can enhance our effect as a tourism hub, it will help with enhancing exchanges between the people and telling good stories of Hong Kong and mainland China. It can also create impetus for growth of Hong Kong. It will also help enhance collaboration and help Hong Kong integrate into national development. We have seen with social media, we have more opportunities and competition. We need to have more innovative products, enhance infrastructure. And it is all about making use of different channels to build Hong Kong into a platform. We need various tourism support facilities. We need transport infrastructure. We need also various support facilities, such as visa exemption policies as well. I will not repeat the specifics of the various support facilities we need. I think we should focus specifically on transport infrastructure. We have 53 million tourism capacity at the airport. We have approximately 10 million people who are flying via Zhuhai, Hong Kong passengers. We have also a significant number of them being transfer passengers. So we need more destinations. We also need more flights so that we can have more connections with the Greater Bay Area, making Hong Kong truly a hub. We also need a rail link from Hon YIU to Shanghai, so that we can enhance the status of airport and radiate the grounds covered to Guangdong East and Guangdong West. It is also about making good use of express rail link. It is important to have more visa exemption arrangements as well. We have mainland China opening visa exemption policies to 138 countries, and there is also a 144-hour visa exemption policy for certain countries. But for those going to the mainland, they are not entitled to the same benefit for the countries that are not exempted. So I hope that for the 54 countries, we can also have the arrangements benefit them. And for the 144 visa exemption policy, we should make good use of it and tap into the mainland market so that we can develop source markets of business visitors as well as high-value visitors. We also need to have more multi-entry visa arrangements for Greater Bay Area mainland cities, such as Guangzhou and Shanghai. We have only basic data from the Tourism Board. We do not have any figures at all for Hong Kong people going overseas. We do not have any figures about the travel patterns of Hong Kong people or the visiting passengers or those visiting Hong Kong. We do not have the relevant data to conduct comprehensive analysis and make advanced plans. Many of us are concerned about the capacity of Hong Kong in accommodating visitors. If we only have aggregate figures, we do not analyze why passengers are coming here, whether they are visiting Hong Kong or are they making use of Hong Kong in the multi-destination model. It may be hard for us to gauge the actual situation. We need to invest in conducting analyses, helping the Immigration Department update their system so that for different industries, especially the tourism industry, we can get more real-time data for our better gauging of the situation. In order to reinforce Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub, we also need to have more collaboration with the Greater Bay Area mainland cities. Through resource consolidation, we can achieve synergy. The government should enhance collaboration with mainland authorities and industries to create a platform for the GBA. We have traveling going both ways. We need to enhance collaboration with mainland cities of the GBA to create synergy. We need to have the traffic now become something that is recurrent. We need to enhance attractiveness of Hong Kong. The Working Group on Developing Hotspots recently announced 9 attractions to be developed, and the Development Blueprint for Hong Kong's Tourism Industry 2.0 talked about 4+ tourisms for culture, sports, ecology, and mega events. I think it is important for us to reach a consensus. Deputy President, recently we had a traffic problem at the East Dam. I know that the government has been working hard to alleviate traffic by encouraging people to visit at different hours and increasing traffic frequency, but it does not make for promoting ecology plus tourism. If we are to promote ecology tourism, we need professional support services. We need to have the proper guides to provide information to visitors. And we should not be just about traffic. We need to promote harmony between the environment and humans. We need to also think about conservation, such as the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. It is a demonstration of integration of various elements, conservation, education, and tourism. They have struck a balance between conservation and tourism. And I think we need to strike a right balance between those as well. We should refer to these successful experiences and create a brand of ecological tourism in the new territories. I urge you members to support my motion. All right, I propose the question to you that Mr. YIU Pak-leung's motion be passed. Ms. CHAN Yuet-ming.
Thank you. I speak in support of the original motion and the amendments. In 2024, the policy address states that an innovative mentality will be used to build Hong Kong into a prime tourism destination. We'll make good use of our resources to create tourism is everywhere in Hong Kong. I have two suggestions. First, we should draw reference from Airport City to improve connectivity. We use the Hong Kong airport to connect with other sectors to attract tourism in different areas. The land boundary crossing points is an important gateway. We have a large volume of visitors going through these ports. I think that we need to draw reference from the concept of Airport City to boost development in GBA areas. Guangdong Province and Shenzhen attach importance on cross-border tourism development. In times of festival, there will be free gifts given at cross-boundary points to attract Hong Kong people to go and spend in China. When it comes to Hong Kong boundary crossing points, they serve only as a transportation node. There is no good use of the high foot traffic to attract people to spend in these areas. It's a shame. I ask the government to boost boundary crossing points economy. We can work with restaurants, shopping malls. Shopping coupons can be distributed to get Hong Kong people to spend in Hong Kong. There can be kiosks set up so that visitors leaving Hong Kong can also shop last minute. We also need to improve our hardware to organize cross-boundary mega events. There are a number of plans, say in the policy address. There is development of Chin Pei Choi and Park Nai. There is also the development of ecotourism in Sha Tau Kok, as well as island hopping in Yan Chau Tong. In Robin's Nest, to the east of the northern metropolis, there is an eco-tourism route linking these various locations. A lot of people, having learned from Xiaohongshu, come to Hong Kong from China. The volume of traffic increased, paralyzing our transportation network. There are more and more people coming to Hong Kong to experience our culture. Transportation network in remote areas should be improved. Hong Kong will organize some events of the national games. There has been a couple of test events in Hong Kong. We need to work very closely with mainland counterparts. We learn from these trial events. Different cross-boundary events should be organized to boost our economy. We need to capitalize on the advantage of cross-boundary integration of culture, sports, and tourism. We need to serve incoming visitors to give them a good experience. We also need to strike a right balance between tourism and its burden on the local community. Ms. Elizabeth Quote. I speak in support of the original motion and the amendments. I ask members to support mine. This is a critical point of our transformation. In the first quarter, the amount of inbound visitor has gone back to pre-epidemic level, but our nearby cities are offering immersive experience. So traditional tourism products will not be able to meet demand. Mr. Hsia Bao-leung pointed out in a forum that we need to actively explore new growth areas. We need to think of new ways to enhance our tourism, to make good use of our 263 islands as well as our long coastline. This is in line with the development of low-altitude economy. We need to have shore coastline tourism plus low-altitude tourism. We need to create a new development area. Low-altitude economy combined with coastline tourism will create new opportunities. In Yantian, Shenzhen, they make use of low-altitude economy to get visitors to spend more time in the area. In Hong Kong, we have a cluster of islands. We have a cluster of skyscrapers. So from the urban area to rural area is a very short distance. People only just go around by ferries or boats. But we can use some eVTOL. We can offer a product of a half an hour low-altitude cruise. In the morning, they go to the Victoria Harbour. In the afternoon, then they can take these aircraft to our marine department and then go somewhere else. I would like to make some suggestions for the consideration of the administration. First, we have to designate pilot areas of low-altitude tourism. There are sandboxes for various initiatives. There should be one for this. The flight corridor is a good idea. From Shuttlecock to Cat O, together with mangroves, there can be an environmentally friendly route. We have Geo Park, Yan Chao Tong, and High Island Reservoir. This will be tourism product of Geo Park. We can also have air taxis for island hopping tourism. In Kai Tak Cruise Terminal, Shan Tak, and West Kowloon Cultural District, these can be turned into landing and taking off points for low-altitude economy. This will be a different product. Low-altitude tourism doesn't mean that you have to physically be on an aircraft. We can combine tourism with technology. We can have AR tourism. We can make use of AR to see the old Hong Kong when you're on the aircraft. We can make use of drones to transport freshly caught seafood to the hands of tourists. There is a legislative amendment for the chief executive to grant approval of special projects. We can create new products. We have to have good planning in place, the takeoff points, the infrastructure. We need a task force to take up that work. If we can do that, then we can turn our beautiful hills and seas into tourism products. Ms. Joephy Chen, I speak in support of the original motion, and I move an amendment on behalf of the FTU. Well, the GBA tourism development plan gives support for Hong Kong to be a tourism hub as a multi-destination hub. There are 1.8 million people who are not mainlanders coming to Hong Kong via mainland. And we have 1.81 million people flying into Hong Kong. We can make good use of our culture. We can be a super connector and super value added. There was a report in 2023. It is from the State Council. It's about a measure for unlocking potential of tourism consumption. There is the concept of plus tourism. Hong Kong should echo the efforts of different cities by coming up with new initiatives. We have submitted a report to the government where we have advocated a new tourism experience, say for example, patriotic tourism. Now there is the government working group. They have come up with several hotspots. One of them is Yau Ma Tei Police Station, which is in our proposal. We suggest to add the Tsing Yi Shipyard. In a youth festival this year, I and my team went to Shenzhen. We learned about the Dongjiang water supply as well as other locations. We saw some restaurants and we saw kiosks selling handicraft. In the old days, there was not enough food supply. And at that time, there were several trains transporting fresh produce to Hong Kong via Shenzhen. We can do our publicity in this regard. We can create patriotic tourism. And there is also an intangible heritage cultural tourism. We can tell our stories of our intangible heritage. We can make use of our list of intangible heritage to sell Hong Kong. It's not just about Tsim Sha Tsui Promenade and the Peak. We can add new elements. Visitors can get involved in making handicraft products. This will invigorate our tourism in this regard. A lot of cities make use of this to revitalize villages. If we can do that, then we'll be able to save dying industries. We can also attract youngsters to work in these trades. Well, we need to enhance training for practitioners in the tourism industry. We have visitors from ASEAN and the Middle East. We can give them language training. We can provide them with better service training. There can be professional docent training. The intangible heritage tourism I mentioned about needs further training. I asked the government to provide subsidies. When it comes to making changes, then we need new tricks. We need to make use of big data and AI to enhance visitor experience. The CE talks about compiling big data for tourism. There is no uniform APP to provide information under the Tourism Board. I see that there are a number of apps in the board's website, but they're just Wi-Fi and SOS. I don't think visitors need that. We can make use of the website.
主席，旅遊業作
Mr. Cha Wan-kong, Madam Deputy, tourism industry as the 4 pillars of Hong Kong. In 2022, we have created some 360,000 job opportunities. And there's been a growth in the various areas, and the 3 runway systems was commissioned last year. The administration said that as at 2030, the throughput would be some 120 million passengers per year. We have all the hardware. The key is the software. That's about government policies, our carrying capacity. The question is whether we can catch up so that we can take the lead in the overall competition and make Hong Kong the first choice for visitors. I support the original motion and all of the amendments. I hope that the administration will continue to work with the industry and create impetus for Hong Kong's tourism industry.
社會公
After the commissioning of the QUAT Sports Park, we have much to do. I urge the government to provide more convenience for the industry to rent venues if necessary. And after the commissioning of the QUAT Sports Park, we have many events and concerts held. They have attracted many visitors. I understand that a British band had a concert at QUAT Sports Park. And then there was a package that would include concert tickets and hotel, and there were many tourists in the area drinking, having fun. It really demonstrates how we have leverage on our rich experience to make Hong Kong into a capital of events, and that will attract more visitors. But some in the sector said it is very hard to rent venues at the QUAT Sports Park. I urge the government should take an approach of focusing in parallel sports and cultural events. We should also refer to the experience of Singapore's model. They would provide very, very generous subsidies for international pop stars to have concerts in Singapore. We need to have several major events to really boost Hong Kong's image instead of having multiple events. We need to have Hong Kong become the first stop for tourists coming to China. We have a YouTube channel that has 40 million subscribers. He first went to mainland China and then came to Hong Kong. He went to Hebei province, and the province has seen an increase in the number of visitors by 13%. The visitors came from South Korea and other Southeast Asian regions. I believe that was due to an influencer effect, and there were news stories being told about the province. I think we need to adopt this model. When we have influencers coming in future, we need to make preparations. We need to have news stories so that influencers can actually tell good stories of Hong Kong. We have the U.S. starting a trade war. We have somewhat of a consensus after talks, but having the experience, we need to understand that we need to build our foundations, have deep reforms so as to rise up against geopolitical challenges. We need to attract more Middle Eastern visitors. They are high-value visitors. They also have less experience with China. They have many things that they're interested in. We also need to make sure we accommodate Muslim-friendly habits. All right, Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism.
As an international metropolis, Hong Kong enjoys the unique institutional advantages of being supported by the motherland and connected to the world, as well as deep international ties under the one country, two systems principle. The development of Hong Kong's tourism industry has been benefiting from this. In view of the changes in consumption and travel patterns of global visitors in recent years, the CSTB released the Hong Kong Tourism Development Blueprint 2.0 as at the end of 2024, which puts forward 4 major development strategies and 133 specific measures to consolidate Hong Kong's position as a world-class tourist destination under the core concept of tourism is everywhere. Since the release of Blueprint 2.0, both the government and the industry have responded very positively to the implementation of various development strategies and measures and have started to work on various aspects such as product innovation, developing visitor sources, smart tourism, and upgrading the service quality and ancillary facilities for the tourism industry. As we enter 2025, Hong Kong tourism industry is gaining momentum. From January 2025 to April alone, a total of 16.08 million visitors were recorded, representing an increase of 10% over the same period last year. Among these people, 12.06 million were mainland visitors and 4.02 million were non-mainland visitors, representing a year-on-year increase of about 8% and 70% respectively. Visitors from the mainland have been growing steadily. Overseas markets also showed increasingly good performance, with Southeast Asian markets showing the strongest growth. During the past Labor Day Golden Week on the mainland, the 5-day visitor arrivals totaled about 1.1 million, representing a significant year-on-year increase of about 22%. Among them, nearly 920,000 were mainland visitors, up 20% from the year before, while about 180,000 were non-mainland visitors, recording a growth of 31%. On the 2nd of May, Friday, both the number of overall visitor and mainland visitors reached record highs on a single day after COVID. The total number of visitors on that day amounted to about 303,000, with a year-on-year increase of about 40%. The number of mainland visitors was about 267,000, up about 39% from the year before, and the number of non-mainland visitors was about 36,000. That's an increase of about 44%. These figures show that Hong Kong's tourism industry is recovering strongly and remains attractive to tourists. Under the guidance of Blueprint 2.0, we stress the importance of quality over quantity in the future development of our tourism industry. The government will guide all sectors to make good use of the central people's government's policies to benefit Hong Kong, grasp the market pulse and opportunities, and provide quality service for visitors to make them feel at home. Give full play to Hong Kong's position as an international tourism hub and continue to strengthen our traditional strengths on tourism spots, cuisine, city management, and transport infrastructures. At the same time, we should explore new tourism resources, including injecting impetus and freshness into the city with our soft powers such as events, festivals, so as to enhance the city's ambience and attract global visitors. The motion moved by Mr. YIU Pak-leung and amendments proposed by other members today will allow the government to draw on collective wisdom on how to further develop Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidate our position as a world-class tourist destination. We will listen carefully to members' views and I'll give a response later. Thank you.
Mr. Yang Wen-kit. Thank you, Deputy President. Hong Kong is a shopping and gourmet paradise. After the commissioning of Kai Tak Sports Park, we will become concert paradise. We have a good transport infrastructure. We have express rail link. We have the Hong Kong International Airport. We have connections with the mainland and the rest of the world. We used to be a pop culture capital. We have the Canto Pop. We have many cantopop icons. I think we have the foundations to develop Hong Kong into a concert paradise. Having concerts is not just about the concerts. It will bring about development of other sectors and industries. After Coldplay held a concert in Kai Tak Sports Park, we had May Day, we had Nicholas Day concert. We also have the midlife singing program, and they had held a concert in Kai Tak Sports Park. We should have Kai Tak Sports Park hold even more TV programs. We have in later months more concerts. We should have dedicated teams to provide one-stop services to concert organizers. And I believe with that, many international pop icons would want to hold concerts in Kai Tak Sports Park. We should also set some KPIs to encourage the Kai Tak Sports Park Limited to do more. We have many mega events. We have been able to attract visitors, but how can we retain them? We now have concert ticket and hotel packages. In future, we can perhaps have ticket plus flights or other attraction ticket packages for visitors staying in Hong Kong for more than 5 days. We should have more concessions for, say, flight tickets or train tickets to encourage people to stay longer. I also know that on the tourism board website, it says that there are some directions for visitors to know where to eat and drink in the area, but that is not enough. We need to perhaps distribute pamphlets in the area to visitors. We need them to stay in the area to boost the consumption of other merchants in the area. And that will in turn benefit the economy. We have seen on the 2nd of May, the visitor levels have reached 90% of the pre-pandemic levels. We have seen them going to different places, the East Dam, Central Market, etc. For Hong Kong to become an international tourism hub, we need to do more in management. When people go somewhere to take photos or have fun, they don't want the places to be too crowded. The government should practice flexible crowd management. We need to gauge the capacity of attractions. We need to have official platforms that will make use of technology and disseminate real-time information on crowd levels so that people can make appropriate plans. We should also encourage visitors to come at different hours. On Xiaohongshu, the trends change constantly. We don't know what is going to trend in future, but we need to gauge what is happening. And once we are able to gauge the trends, we can manage the traffic. Say if people are taking ferries, we can allow people to make bookings in advance, and that will help us perhaps bundle it with other concessions. During the Golden Week in May, we understand that there are visitors who would want to experience the older Hong Kong culture, and we had some of the visitors go to some older dest restaurants, and they had a lot of fun. And I understand that in some mainland cities, they have been doing something like that with the specific ancient Chinese outfits, and they have had success. I hope that we can learn from this experience. Thank you, Mr. Ring Kong. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. YIU Pak-leung for proposing the original motion so that we can talk about tourism after the Golden Week in May. Traditional tourism would be all about having more visitors. But Hong Kong is special in a way that has an integration of Chinese and Western culture. We also have beautiful vistas, such as what we can see at the peak and of the Victoria Harbour. But I think we also have some non-traditional vistas, say just of our smaller neighborhoods. These local cultural elements are a part of our cultural heritage. It is also how we can stand out. These assets are not developed with reference to visitor preferences. They are a part of the local lifestyle. We have talked about tourism many times. It is all about how we can be more innovative, and when faced with fierce competition, we need to develop local neighborhoods into specific attractions. We can manage visitor traffic as long as we have regard to the local circumstances. We have seen recently some new concepts such as ecology plus tourism. We have many hiking routes. We need to consider the capacity of the different natural attractions. We need to strike a balance between conservation and tourism. Let's look at what happened in Golden Week of May. We have departing locals of 4 million people. We had a significant amount of them being mainland visitors. We have seen a rebound, but we need to make sure we can strike a balance between attracting visitors while maintaining the lifestyle of locals. We have in the East End overcrowding. Is that what we want? And I actually went to Chuchacho Harbourfront during the Golden Week. We had, however, the tourists gathering in specific attractions. The rest of the area doesn't really benefit. We don't see a lot of people going to the restaurants there. Why is there such an imbalance? To answer this question, we need to look at things from a macro perspective. We need to look at how we're managing our city. We need actually to incorporate local culture in tourism for visitors. That in the end will be sustainable. We need to have suitable allocation of spaces for visitors and locals so that we can actually be a place of happiness and competitiveness. If we look at what is happening in Zurich, Switzerland, they have been developing tourism. They talked about how they would try to maintain their local lifestyle. They have maintained their medieval architecture. They attract visitors with immersive tourism in mind. And they have a basis in local culture, and they have made use of scientific methods to adjust the number of visitors to ensure truly there is integration of culture and tourism. I so submit.
Professor William Wong. Madam Deputy, I thank Mr. YIU Pak-leung for moving the motion so that we can talk about our role as international tourism hub. Hong Kong used to be famous for being the pearl of the East and a shopping paradise, but these are no longer a focus today. We must formulate new strategies and collaborate with mainland cities to promote multi-destination tourism. Last month, I Shall Speak, a U.S. influencer, came to China, and that's a great demonstration of multi-destination tourism. He went to Shanghai, Beijing, Chongqing, and came to Hong Kong to watch pandas and went to the bridge at Causeway Bay. I think that we should promote the route that he took. in Chinese New Year festival, there were over 9.5 million people who visited China. That's an increase of 23% from the year before. The reason why foreign visitors were attracted to China is because travelers today are more focused on experience. They like to view and experience traditional things. China is a place with rich cultural heritage. Many American tourists came to China because of the high inflation in their own country. Some of them purchase items on the mainland and sell them in the US. We must be attractive enough so that these tourists will make a stop in Hong Kong. We have many different characteristics. We have milk tea, herbal tea, pineapple bun, and egg tart. In terms of festivals, we have the Bun Festival in Shanghai, Chen Chao, and the Fire Dragon Festival in Taihang. So when visitors visit the mainland, I hope that they will make a stop here. For us to develop multi-destination tourism, we must work hard in attracting visitors during the peak seasons. For example, during summer holidays, we should work with the mainland cities to collaborate on our promotion and publicity. We should offer a tickets package if we have a large-scale events such as celebrities, concerts, and Rugby 7. We should offer these packages to create synergy. At the same time, we must make good use of technology to offer high-quality experience to our visitors. On the 2nd of May, if you recall, there were visitors who weren't able to leave Hong Kong because of a Wi-Fi network connection problem. They were stuck at the boundary control point. The government must conduct testing on the immigration and immigration facilities and to test on any possibility of power outage. We should have a plan B and prepare for any accidents. There's been a trend of low-budget travel among mainland tourists. These tourists like to go for hiking and view sunset. They focus on experience instead of materials things. We must monitor the tourist hotspots among these tourists so that we can make preparation in terms of our transport infrastructures and network connection. Assistant Commissioner of the Hangzhou Tourism Board said that they are introducing the DeepSeek technology to consolidate information of tourism spots, museums, transport, and traffic infrastructures to offer one-stop service to visitors. This application can show the crowd at the 51 tourism spots, and through big data analysis, the application can recommend tourist spots with fewer crowds to visitors. I think that we can make reference to this application with DeepSeek technology to make things more convenient for the tourists so that they can plan for itinerary better. I so speak in support of the motion and the amendments. Mr. Benson Look. Madam Deputy, I thank Mr. Yu for moving the motion on reinforcing Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidating its position as a world-class premier tourism destination. I also thank other members for moving the amendments. Last year, the administration promulgated the development blueprint for Hong Kong tourism industry 2.0. According to the statistics promulgated by the Tourism Board, there were 3.8 million visitors who came to Hong Kong. That's a rise of 13% from the year before. During the Labor Day, on the 2nd of May, there were 267,000 people from the mainland who came to Hong Kong. That's a rise of 40%. Some bars and restaurants said that they see an increase of 40% in their business. For retailers such as cosmetics, seafood, and shops alike said that they see an increase of 30 to 40% in terms of their business. The government promulgated the first 9 tourist spots in Hong Kong so that we can develop tourism is everywhere here. This shows that the administration, the hotel and retail associations, and the tourism board's efforts are seeing results. However, there was a former senior management of the government who has a different view. He said that instead of focusing on tourism, we should work on other industries. I don't agree with that. People in Hong Kong know that tourism drives various industries such as hotel, retail, transportation, and so on. This support tens of thousands of families in Hong Kong. Tourism is one of the 4 major economic pillars of our city. We must work on it. I think that there are 2 parts to the motion. First, our role as a tourism hub and our position as a world-class premier tourism destination. Now, in terms of our role as an international tourism hub, we must develop multi-destination tourism. 80% of long-haul visitors make a stop in Hong Kong before they go to mainland, Japan, Korea, or other Southeast Asian countries. In the work plan of the tourism board, the board said that they're going to work with neighboring cities to promote multi-destination tourism. As airlines is opening more flight routes, the board will work with them to explore more markets. As we are working with the airlines to develop more routes, we are increasing the air passenger tax by 67%. Unfortunately, although the FSTB has offered exemptions for visitors who leave the next day upon arrival, but the airline and the hotel industries are very worried about this measure. I hope that the administration will offer also exemptions for visitors who arrive in Hong Kong by land but leave by air. And I also hope that the administration will work with airlines to offer transit discounts so that visitors and tourists will try to make a stop in Hong Kong as they head for other places in the nearby region. As our position as a world-class premier tourism destination, I always advocate for developing our position as a mega event capital, because organizing mega events are easier than building infrastructures. I've been promoting Sports Plus tourism. In 2024, the mainland organized 749 jogging and races, and about 1 million joggers participated. The London Marathon in 2026 have received over 1.1 million applications. So there is great potential. If we want to have our marathon event join the world tour, then we should try to work towards this direction. However, the fees of joining the alliance is very high. According to the preliminary study conducted by the trade, we are positioned to work with the Greater Bay Area cities to organize the 5 marathon events in Asia. I hope that the administration will work with the trade to promote this. I so speak in support of the motion and the amendments. Mr. Stanley Tan. Thank you, Madam Deputy. In recent years, the administration has been very proactive in developing tourism. They just promulgated the 9 tourist spots. Many of my friends said that they are very interested. The administration has taken on board views of various trades, and this shows the determination of the government. I support it. In order for us to reinforce and strengthen our competitiveness, we must focus on competitiveness and becoming a world-class premier tourism destination. And this is the model that is the most suitable for us. We must become an international tourism hub so that visitors can come to Hong Kong before they go to the mainland and other cities. And this will also allow them to experience unique things in Hong Kong. We must be friendly. Hong Kong has an airline, we have express rail link, Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. All these are world-class infrastructures. We are bilingual and triliterate. We have all the conditions that attract tourists. We must therefore offer high-quality services. I hope that the administration will promote the adoption of technology and automation so that the visitors, when they immigrate, when they shop, when they check into the hotels, they can experience speedy services. Through digitalization and informatization, visitors will be able to offer seamless experience. We can provide put in place robots at restaurants and various tourist spots. We should also train our tourist guides to enhance visitors' experience. Second, we also have to develop mega events to highlight our characteristics. We should not just rely on shopping centers and night views. We must also organize diversified mega events. We have Rugby 7, Hong Kong Art Basel. All these are internationally renowned events. The government must step up promotion of these events. We should also be proactive to introduce international and world-class sports, cultural, and tourism events so that they become a core events to our brand. I think that we should also work with professionals. We can leverage on, say, medical services to develop medical tourism and, for example, perhaps cosmetic tourism. Third, we should be forward-looking and investing in infrastructures and build a strong foundation for the development of tourism. As to whether or not visitors like to come again after they travel in Hong Kong depends on whether there is any new attractions. In July, Okinawa, Shanghai have new theme parks being opened. In 2027, Shanghai has the Harry Potter themed park, and in 2028, Seoul, Korea has also new park. And Abu Dhabi is going to build their first Disney park resort. After commissioning the Kai Tak Sports Park, what else do we have? From planning to commissioning, it usually takes a decade for a large-scale infrastructure to be completed. I think that perhaps we should build large-scale resorts and more attractions alike to enhance our attractiveness. Do we have reasons for visitors to come? We should enhance visitors' experience. That's just the basics. We should also invest in infrastructure. In order for us to further enhance visitors' experience, we must be forward-looking and investing in our infrastructures and organize mega events, so that we will become a world-class premier tourism destination. I so speak in support of the motion and the amendments.
Mr. Chen Siu-hong. Thank you, Madam Deputy. I speak in support of Mr. Perry Yu's motion on reinforcing Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidating its position as a world-class premier tourism destination. I also support the amendments. Over the Golden Week, market activity was vibrant. There was an increase of 22% of economic activities. Hotel occupancy reaches 90%, and there is an increase of about a double-digit figure in sales. It is encouraging. In the Tourism Blueprint 2.0, Hong Kong is set as a tourism hub. This echoes the Culture and Tourism Development Plan promulgated in 2022. Hong Kong will be built into an international tourism hub as well as a demonstration zone for multi-destination tourism. We have to take into account changes of tourist profile as well as behavior. We need to do more. We need to provide connectivity as well as good infrastructure, especially infrastructure that leads from border control facilities. We need to maintain close liaison with the task force of the GBA task force. We need to look into the West Rail, the Northern Link, as well as other cross-boundary transportation network. We can also consider cooperating with airliners, offering different packages to attract visitors to use Hong Kong as a transit hub. I have made submissions to the Chief Executive in his policy address. I proposes low-altitude tourism. We can make use of VTOL as well as aircraft to develop new services and products. I echo the amendment of Ms. Elizabeth QUAT. We need to combine low-altitude economy with tourism to increase our attractiveness. If we can travel from Northern Metropolis to Shenzhen or other mainland cities, this will be conducive to development. A few days ago, the working group on tourist hotspots have come up with various projects over different areas. I believe that it will be attractive to inbound visitors. I expect that the working group will work on removing barriers, improving software, hardware, maintenance of tourism hotspots, supporting measures in relation to retail facilities, as well as new tourist spots. In addition, Hong Kong can repackage our existing resources to provide diversified experiences. Let me give you an example. We have a long history of horse racing. We have a very good reputation. It deserves our support. Last month, the Jockey Club organized an international event attracting 46,000 visitors. There is a turnout of 9,300 people. 8,000 of them are locals, and about 1,000 of them came to Hong Kong. A lot of them came to Hong Kong using Hong Kong Jockey Club's packages they're willing to spend. Hong Kong is an international city. We welcome tourists from different parts of the world. We are hospitable. We will do more. There is an increasing number of inbound visitors from the Middle East. We need to give them a good experience. We'll continue to work with the GBA. We'll attract visitors from GBA. We will enhance our role as a multi-destination hub. We need to attract visitors to come to Hong Kong and to come to Hong Kong again and again. Mr. Ronald Chan, Madam Deputy, enhancing Hong Kong's role as an international shipping and logistic hub. Tourism is one of our pillar industries. If we have a vibrant tourism industry, then it will make our image even more attractive. I thank Mr. Perry Yu for moving this motion. He urges the government to make good use of existing resources and to build Hong Kong into a prime tourism destination. Last year, the working group on tourist hotspot was set up. They recently announced 9 projects covering different areas. Well, there is a garden in Tamar. I believe that this will attract visitors and will also promote our industrial brand. At the same time, it also showcases Hong Kong as an eco-friendly city. There are also Old Town Central, Kowloon City, and Yau Ma Tei. This will attract tourists who love good old times. I believe that with proper publicity, the 9 projects will inject vibrancy into the industry. I have some suggestions to make. First, connectivity is important. Well, we can ride a train from West Kowloon to a dozen of cities on the mainland. We can use that as an example as a focus of our publicity. Well, there are more visa-free arrangements with different countries. Western visitors will tend to spend longer time when they go on holidays. We can make this our focus and get them to use Hong Kong as the first destination into the mainland. We have very sound infrastructure. Recently, the government promotes diversified payment systems in trains and taxis. Visitors love Peak Tram as well as the Ong Ping 360. But over the Golden Week, there has been some negative comments relating to our transportation network. In Singapore, South Korea, the tourism industry offer pre-booking. This will take into account the capacity of the facilities, and it will also prevent ticket touts from dipping the fingers in. We have Kai Tak Sports Park. It was commissioned in March. There has been a number of concerts. Main stadium houses 50,000 spectators. Currently, mainland visitors ride a train and use cross-boundary buses to come to Hong Kong. I suggest to the government that when there are major events, there needs to be provision of round-the-clock coaches from Hong Kong to Shenzhen, and this will tap into our potential. Technology is advancing. There are new products such as paragliding, hot air balloons, etc. This will be a new experience for tourists. We have the right condition. We have beautiful landscape that can be viewed from above. Where it's safe, I think similar projects should be introduced. In this way, visitors can see Hong Kong in different ways. We need to rely on ourselves to develop our tourism industry. We need to come up with new ideas so that Hong Kong will become a premier destination. Mr. Lee Chen Kang. A lot of visitors go to different places in their holidays. We've all traveled. We know we know very well what visitors want. We need to build our GBA brand to attract high-value visitors so that they will have their multi-destination itinerary. We can make use of Douyin, YouTube, Xiaohongshu. We can also ask influencers to publicize Hong Kong. But the best way to publicize Hong Kong is visitors themselves. A lot of first-time visitors, when they come to Hong Kong, they have to queue at the border control point. They have to queue for taxis. They don't know which app to use. When they go to Lok Ma Chau or Lo Wu, they see traffic congestions, which dampens their enthusiasm. I suggest to the government that they work with theme parks and transport operators to come up with a one-stop app. Visitors can make use of the app to get the information they need. They can also buy multi-day passes for different modes of transport covering buses, trams. They can also offer weekend packages using the high-speed rail. This will be a multi-destination itinerary. We can draw reference from some other cities like Hangzhou. We make use of big data to give real-time information of tourist spots. Say, for example, the east dam of Hai Island Reservoir, Ngongping 360, so that visitors can make better plans. We also need to expand the potential from Middle East and ASEAN. We can make use of apps to help practitioners understand their needs, their language, say halal restaurants. Restaurants can also provide website information in Arabic so that visitors from these places will be better informed when it comes to attracting high-value visitors. We have natural resources for yacht and cruise tourism. We can attract buyers of yachts to come buy the yachts in Hong Kong and then spend here. We can work with different sectors, different cities. We promote yacht tourism. We can also encourage visitors to go to Guangzhou, Nansha. We can also develop rental tourism. Say, for example, rental of cars with registration plates of Hong Kong and mainland so that they can drive from Hong Kong to the mainland to go to different cities. We also need mega economy tourism. The government can organize various mega events which will boost businesses in retail, catering, etc. Well, this will bring a lot of economic benefits to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is close to Macau. We can work together. We can promote betting, racing, tourism, or concerts. There can also be running and other events. Well, I also hope that Hong Kong people will be more tolerant, will smile more to visitors so that Hong Kong can be a premier tourism destination.
Mr. Tang Fei, I speak in support of Mr. Yiu Pak-leung's original motion reinforcing Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidating Hong Kong's position as a tourist destination. Educational travel can contribute to the high-quality development and transformation of Hong Kong for us to expand new visitor source markets and leveraging on our tourism resources. We have now seen travel patterns switching to something that is more immersive. Educational travel can promote the integration of culture and tourism, as well as the development of education and tourism in parallel. It can also help Hong Kong integrate into international development better. Very early on, educational travel has been advocated in mainland China, and it has been booming ever since. The numbers double pretty much every year, with more promotion of culture and tourism. It has benefited many, and I think we can refer to the successful experience. We have a rich culture, much more than what visitors usually expect. We have some heritage from modern history. We actually also have a key part in the history of many Southeast Asian regions in anti-colonialization. Under one country, two systems, we can really develop educational travel and patriotic education. We are a unique place to do this. Like Macau is doing something like this. They have a slogan that relates particularly to educational travel. They have some modern history on Guangzhou. They also have some themed tours on the history of Hong Kong and Macau, and that is what Macau is doing. I think we need to promulgate a list of educational travel potential markets. We should not only have Hong Kong students visit mainland schools, we should encourage mainland schools to have their students come to Hong Kong for educational travel. We shouldn't think about how there is no shopping or eating, and then we should ignore educational travel altogether. They would still shop actually when they go to cultural attractions. I think we need to take a more macro perspective with this. It will also help broaden international horizons. And we already have an advantage of being connected well to the world, and we can have some themed tours. We can start with some Chinese schools elsewhere to non-Chinese schools elsewhere, and we have seen a successful experience of Kazakhstan students coming here, and why not expand it to other Belt and Road countries? We can have educational travel being a good engine for growth in tourism. It will also help enhance sense of identity. It enhances the strategic value of Hong Kong as well as an educational hub. I so submit. Mr. QUAT YIU. I speak in support of Mr. YIU Pak-leung's original motion and all the amendments. I agree with what other members said. The tourism industry of Hong Kong is at a critical stage of transformation. I thank Mr. YIU Pak-leung for raising this motion at an appropriate time. The FTU supports that there should be vibrancy in tourism in Hong Kong because it is related to the other sectors as well, providing job opportunities. On the 20th of May, the government announced 9 tourism hotspots, and I think these hotspots are worth promoting, but these just relate to hardware. Many members said, apart from hardware, visitors actually pay more attention to the local culture. They want something that is unique to Hong Kong and who can demonstrate the culture of Hong Kong. Say, if we have a good song, we have good music and good lyrics, we also need a good singer to sing the song. We have all along been talking about tourist hotspots for tourism, but how about the professionals in the tourism sector? They play a key role in welcoming the visitors. They will tell stories to visitors. They make the experience of visitors. According to some mainland surveys recently, respondents, the visitors, said they are willing to pay for specific services, say docent or tourist guide services. And we have seen visitors change their travel patterns. Before, they are here mostly for shopping, but now they want more immersive tourism. We need to cater to this. However, we do not have many travel packages or tours that accommodate such demand, such as the Iceland volcanic tours. This is some high-end tour, and they charge 8,000 Hong Kong dollars per head. It is an exorbitant price, but they do need guides for the tours. We do not have such extreme natural attractions in Hong Kong, but we have really good natural attractions. We have, say, Tai O, my home neighborhood. We also maybe can have traditional fishermen clothes available for people to hire to take photos. It's just like when people go to Dali, where there are traditional clothes for people to rent to wear to take photos. I think we can have something like this to tie in with the photo taking culture these days. On the 30th of April, we have 5,370 licensed tourist guides, 10% less than that before the pandemic. We have not many tourist guides, just about 7% of them proficient in other languages, and even less of them will be proficient in history. Recently, I visited Shuttlecock, and I was led by a Dr. So. He told me some very great stories, and it really made for my experience. How can we have more of the tourist guides do this? I think we need to explore this. And we also need to have different policy support to make sure we're boosting not only the number of visitors, but also making for the experience. Thank you, Dr. Lo Wei-kwok. I speak in support of the original motion and the amendments. The current term government has established the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau to have integrated development of culture, sports, and tourism. Also, they promulgated the development blueprint for Hong Kong's tourism industry 2.0 that sets out the vision of consolidating Hong Kong's position as a world-class premier tourism destination. The working group on developing tourist hotspots recently announced 9 projects to be implemented by the working group, but we face challenges. We have the tariff wars, we have uncertainties in the external environment. We really need to upgrade and transform our industries. I very much agree with what is said in the original motion. We need to help the tourism industry upgrade and transform. We also need to have enhanced collaboration with mainland cities to have complementary advantages to help Hong Kong's tourism industry and mainland bring in and go global. We need to have a deeper integration of industries first. After the commissioning of Kai Tak Sports Park, we have a venue for world-class sports events and concerts, as well as cultural events. And the cruise terminal nearby can accommodate simultaneously 2 world-class cruises. It is also a venue to hold exhibitions and major events. The government should play a facilitator and coordinator role to make sure there is coordination between different exhibitions and promulgate promotion and publicity strategies specifically so that we can truly promote mega events plus tourism as well as cruise tourism. We will then have more cruise passengers coming to Hong Kong, but we need also to make sure the infrastructure would meet the needs of visitors. We need to adopt a 3D approach and accommodate sea, land, and air passengers. We have rich resources. We have 1,800 kilometers of coastline. We also have great transport infrastructure. We have the Hong Kong-Zhuhai Macau Bridge. We have the Hong Kong International Airport that has recently commissioned the 3-runway system. How can we make good use of our natural resources and our transport infrastructure? January of this year, the Airport Authority promulgated a blueprint for Skytopia to have for the Airport Island and the Port Island of Hong Kong, Zhuhai Macau Bridge, and the nearby area, and construct Asia World Expo Phase 2 with the various attractions in the blueprint constructed. Air passengers, after they have arrived in Hong Kong, they can take vessels going to Lantau Island to explore the island and have some very good seafood. They can also travel to Macau and Zhuhai. Let me first declare I am a board member of the Airport Authority. The government should help the industry seize the opportunities brought about by mainland developments. We have various policy papers issued by the mainland recently that has consolidated Hong Kong's position as a core demonstration zone for multi-destination tourism. And on 17th of October 2024, we have had the visa exemption policy extended from 72 hours to 144 hours, then to 240 hours. And we have also some restrictions on personnel access relaxed. We need to seize on this opportunity to work with mainland cities to have more tourism products and simplify immigration arrangements. Your time is up, Mr. Fizenching.
Thank you, President. I speak in support of Mr. YIU Pak-leung's original motion and the other amendments. The original motion asks the government to make good use of the infrastructure to develop multi-destination tourism together with the Greater Bay Area and develop more tourism products and to diversify tourism experience. We should combine elements of culture, sports, and ecology and mega events to innovate tourism products and services. These are good and new selling points for visitors. I learned a lot listening to Mr. Yu's speech just now. He had many innovative ideas for the development of tourism. A few weeks ago, there was a Golden Week. About 1.1 million visitors came to Hong Kong. That's an increase of 22% from last year. There were an increase of 20% for mainland visitors. For other visitors, there's an increase of 30%. According to TB statistics, there were 45 million people come to Hong Kong last year. There were about 20 million overnight visitors who stayed in Hong Kong for an average of 3.2 days. That's higher than the level before the pandemic. I think that it's because of the tourism board's promotional efforts and the CSTB work. Many more tourists are coming to Hong Kong. People are seeing that actually many visitors come for a low-budget travel. However, given the increase in the business in the retail and hotel industries, we see that visitors are actually spending. We welcome all visitors. We hope that when they are experiencing our city, they would make some spending. So overall speaking, I support Mr. YIU Pak-leung's original motion. I'd like to talk about the 9 tourist hotspots project just announced by the Working Group on Developing Tourist Hotspots. The policy address earlier announced the establishment of the working group. 6 different bureaus and 3 different departments will work together to develop tourist hotspots in the working group. When we develop culture, sports, and tourism, we cannot just rely solely on the Culture, Sports, and Tourism bureaus or the LCSD. I think all bureaus and departments should take part in enhancing visitors' experience. First, on Yamate Police Station. As a member from the Kowloon West City, like in the Kowloon West District, I'm glad to see that Security Bureau is willing to open up further the former Yamate Police Station so that visitors can stay in the district after taking photos. I hope that various bureaus and departments will look into whether they can enhance a visitor's experience under their portfolio. On top of Yamate Police Station, at Temple Street, the fruit market, jewelry market, I think that we should consolidate all these places to create synergy. The Temple Street store owners ask for relaxation of licensing requirements so that they can sell things other than vintage items. I think that various departments and bureaus have to work together to relax barriers. I wanted to talk about Hong Ham, but let me first talk about the 4 peaks. We should start from Sai Kung. During the Labor Day, the CSTB and the Transport Department worked together to enhance the transport infrastructures. We should strike a balance between tourism and conservation. The Great Barrier Reef is a great example. In Nepal and other countries, they offer ecotourism experience along with other types of ecological resources. My focus is that I hope various departments and bureaus would relax barriers to support the development of tourism, to support the motion and the amendments. Mrs. Regina Ip. President, I thank Mr. YIU Pak-leung for moving this motion on reinforcing Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub. To promote local spending and economy, Hong Kong, as a hub, should develop our tourism by promoting sports events. Many electoral members and the administrations have made various suggestions as to how we can reinforce our role as an international tourism hub. Many members talked about cruise tourism, photo-taking tourism, hiking tourism, among others. We have all the conditions to organize this sports event that is junk tourism and junk competition. We talked about yacht tourism. Yacht is very much different from junk. President, I'm sure that you're familiar with this. Many of your friends own yachts. Yachts is run on mechanics. Junk is operated manually. Many people say that operating junk is a real sport because athletes have to control the junk and control its direction to sail it. However, yachts operate on engines. When yachts arrives at a place, the passengers would alight and do sports. We have long histories of junk sports. Vincent should know that we have three yacht club: Hong Kong Royal Yacht Club, Bak Sa Wan Yacht Club, and one in Aberdeen. If we look at Victoria Harbour during the weekends, we see many sailboats traveling in the Victoria Harbour. We have many commentators, technicians, professional workers who know how to repair and maintain sailboats. We organize many local sailboats competition. In 2018, before the COVID, Hong Kong actually participated in the famous Roval Ocean Race. Hong Kong was one of the competition spot. Qingtou organized sailboat competition as well. They have an Olympic class sailboat game. In 2025-26, Qingtou is going to organize the 100 Rolex fast sail race in Shenzhen. They have a China club since 2017. That's another sailboat competition in Taipang, Taya Bay. Hong Kong actually participated in it. They have also sailboats competition in the region. I think that we should invite famous games, including the Rolex Olympic class, Rolex Fastnet race, and American Club to organize these competitions in Hong Kong. Professor is nodding his head. Cosmets of the UK and Southampton can be the starting point, and these sailboats can sail through Africa, other Asian countries, and pass by Hong Kong. I think that we should organize more international sailboats competitions so that more boats and vessels will come to Hong Kong. When they take part in the competition, they would perhaps arrive a few days early, spend here, shop here, in order to familiarize themselves with the Hong Kong waters. This will boost our local economy. I think that we should support it. And I hope that the members will also support it, and I hope that the administration will consider it. Mr. Ma Fong Kwok. President, I speak in support of Mr. YIU Pak-leung's original motion and all the amendments. Hong Kong is a popular tourist spot welcomed by global tourists. We have an east-west culture. We have an efficient transportation network. All these is the reason why we are a key tourist destination. A working group on developing tourist hotspots organized a press conference yesterday, announcing these 9 tourist hotspots projects. I think that these projects will attract more tourists to come to Hong Kong and consolidate a position as a premier tourism destination. I hope that economic outcome will be seen. Given the fierce competition, our tourism industry is faced with challenges. On development of information infrastructure, I asked the electrical research team to look into the smart tourism development of Japan, Singapore, and South Korea and compare them with Hong Kong. The study and research showed that despite our development of smart tourism, stakeholders is of the view that there is still room for improvement. Say, for example, we don't have a mobile application that offer one-stop information for visitors. We don't have enough technology. And when SMEs want to upgrade and transform, they are limited by resources. And we don't adopt big data enough. On the other hand, South Korea is using technology to develop their tourism. The local government there developed Visit Korea application to offer one-stop tourism information and services. And they also organize a startup competition for tourism industry to encourage the trade to develop new tourism products and projects. The Singaporean government also developed multiple tourism solutions. They rely on 5G technology to develop a pilot scheme to offer virtual experience for visitors that visit the battle-related spots. I think that we should learn from Singapore. When visitors go to our heritage and relics, we should also offer virtual experience to them. I think that the government should also organize more mega events to attract more organizers of mega events to come. Say, for example, sailboats competition, mechanic vessels competition. During the Super March just now, there were over 3.4 million visitors who came to Hong Kong. That's an increase of 12% over the same period last year. There were 960,000 non-mainland visitors. This shows that organizing mega events is how we can consolidate our position as a world-class premier tourism destination. By the end of this month and July at Hong Kong Coliseum and the Kai Tak Sports Park, we'll see three world-class football games. It is expected that there will be over 100,000 spectators who will join the game. There will be non-mainland and mainland visitors. This will drive the hotel and retail industries in Hong Kong. The administration has worked hard in attracting these events to come. But I hope that the administration will introduce mega events that are not seen in other Asian cities to come so that we can become the first choice. We should welcome visitors from all around the world, and we should also try to encourage high-spending visitors to come. We should also work with other cities in the mainland. We should target the Middle East and Asian markets and tailor-make tourism products for them. Given the fierce competition, we must give full play to our unique advantages. We should be innovative, and we should transform and work together with the trade to develop more tourist hotspots to turn Hong Kong as a premier tourism destination. I so submit.
Mr. Rock Chen. President, I speak in support of the original motion as well as the amendments. If we are to enhance our role as an international tourism hub and to consolidate our position as a world-class premier destination, we need to work on branding, multi-destination, feature tourism, marketing, and other areas. On branding, we have the Development Blueprint 2.0. There is a new positioning. We'll strengthen our position as an international tourism hub. We will leverage on our unique characteristics. Hong Kong is a place where the East meets the West. We have gourmet, we have architectural characteristics. We need to incorporate all these special features into our products to showcase our uniqueness. Multi-destination is an important strategy. Hong Kong is an aviation hub. We have connections with over 200 destinations. We have Hong Kong-Zhuhai, Macau Bridge, the Kai Tak Cruise Terminal, as well as the high-speed rail. We need to strengthen our connection with GBA as well as international cities. We can launch special products. Say, for example, we can link up with various Guangdong cities, incorporating our cuisine, our shopping, and our culture. We can help the tourism industry to attract more visitors. Mega event is an important engine. There is Rugby 7, Coldplay concert, and Taiwanese band concert in Kai Tak Sports Park. That is May Day. We can organize more mega events. We can also draw reference from the Singaporean approach. We'll be on the offensive to offer attractive deals to attract celebrities and singers to come to Hong Kong. We can also consider commercial sponsorship. The Chang Chao Parade, Ghost Festival, and the beating of the effigies, we can turn them into special events to attract visitors. Thanks to Xiaohongshu, photogenic spots such as Choi Hung Estates have attracted a lot of visitors. There was an influencer who came to Hong Kong to take the tram and walk around the Victoria Promenade. And these are different publicity initiatives. We need to think out of the box. We can work with influencers. We make use of social media. We vitalize traditional tourist spots, and we provide sufficient transportation support. Our cuisine is famous. We can organize more gourmet events. We can showcase our street food, egg waffles, the fake shark's fin soup. We can also promote Michelin star restaurants. We need to enhance the coordination by departments. Mega events should be properly coordinated and supported to reduce the negative impact. We also need to enhance our service level to give visitors a better experience. I so submit. Ms. Eunice Young. I support Mr. Perry Yiu's original motion. I also support the amendments. Hong Kong is an international city. We have a long history. We have beautiful natural landscape. We have famous cuisine. I'll speak from music, art, island hopping, and gourmet. First, our natural landscape. We have rich resources in this regard. A lot of visitors come to hike. They also participate in races as well as eco tours. In the original motion, Mr. Yiu talked about making use of multi-destination to mobilize resources in the GBA. I think that is the focus of the motion. How do we connect with the GBA? We have nature tours in GBA and Hong Kong. This is a way to show a different facade of Hong Kong to visitors. We can connect with the GBA cities in this way. We work with other coastal cities. We come up with new yacht itineraries to attract visitors. When it comes to sports tourism, we organize various sports events. We have rugby sevens every year. We attract visitors and sportsmen to come to Hong Kong, and they boost our economy. Hong Kong is also a suitable location for sailing races. There was an event which attracted about 200 teams to come to Hong Kong. It's one of the most reputable events in Asia. We work with different operators to get more sailing events to come to Hong Kong. So we have dragon boat, rock climbing, cycling facilities. We can have gourmet events, carnival, so sports can combine with tourism. When it comes to music and art, well, we have opera, Chinese opera troupes, we have orchestra, we have the M+ Museum. In the first half of 2025, we have over 1.3 million and 900,000 people visiting various facilities in Hong Kong. We have Clock and Flap, we have Art Basel. We can cooperate with GBA cities to offer art and music pass, so the visitors can come to our music halls, museums using that same pass. We can invite artists, musicians to come to Hong Kong to stage performances. We also have culture and cuisine. We have over 70 Michelin star restaurants covering cuisines of different regions. We are famous for our Cantonese cuisine. So we can create food culture, music culture. All these will consolidate our position. We can make use of sportsmen, gourmet, musicians, artists to showcase our advantage. I speak in support of the motion. Mr. Robert Lee. We are an international tourism hub. Hong Kong is always a popular destination, but there is a change in visitor behavior and pattern. We need to change to meet new demand. I'll speak on a number of areas and give my suggestions. We had a super march, a number of mega events have been held. There are a number of financial summits, Art Basel, Rugby Sevens, cooperating different elements. I ask visitors to come to Hong Kong earlier and leave later. In addition to taking part in these events, they can come to Hong Kong to see our arts and take part in events. I want to tell you about my experience in Rugby Sevens. We have participants from different parts of the world. The atmosphere was wonderful. They were dancing and singing outside the stadium. This event attracted visitors from different places. This also shows Hong Kong as an international city to different parts of the world. We can make use of super march. We can package events organized within the week to create synergy and to attract high spending visitors. In November this year, Hong Kong will host some events of the national game. In November, there is also the FinTech Week. The two events can be packaged together to get visitors to extend their stay. So we can combine mega events with tourism. Apart from diversification, there is also the proposal to enhance infrastructure and promote smart tourism under the blueprint. Some people told me that the service quality of the catering industry as well as drivers of public transport are rather poor. When it comes to the former, maybe it's because of poor training and the increase, and as a result of increasing operating cost of imported labor, it has an impact on service quality. The government needs to do something. The government also needs to pay attention to details. More people want to have an immersive experience. They visit our old districts, but there are air conditioning dripping problems in these districts. It's not good. The government needs to encourage taxi drivers and shops to offer electronic payment. Building Hong Kong into an international tourism hub is a long-term plan. We need diversified development. We need coordinated departmental efforts. We need to attract visitors to come to Hong Kong again. I speak in support of the motion and amendments.
多謝
Mr. Lai Man Kwong. Thank you, President. We have rich cultural and natural resources. If we are to become a world-class premier tourism destination, we need to leverage on these resources. We need to have support facilities that will allow tourists to really see our charm. And they need to come to Hong Kong for the specific attractions. And the working group on developing tourist hotspots announced 9 projects to be implemented, one of them being Yau Ma Tei Police Station. I visited the former Yau Ma Tei Police Station in recent years. I was very enticed by the attraction, and I'm very happy that the government heeded my suggestion to include the former Yau Ma Tei Police Station in as one of the tourist hotspots to be promoted. It will also bring more traffic to the area and boost consumption in the area. The community surrounding Yau Ma Tei Police Station is also quite unique. It has many different attractions of local cultures, such as the market. It is a good place for immersive tourism. And I think in order to promote tourism in an area, we shouldn't rely on a single attraction. With the plan to implement the projects of the tourist hotspots, we need to develop the areas as a whole. We cannot only rely on the specific attractions. That will also promote city walk. We also need to enhance transport infrastructure and increase the capacity to accommodate tourists. We want to have the harborfront connected to the hinterland of Yau Ma Tei so that we can bring people both ways. We had many tourists, influencers, athletes coming to Hong Kong for hiking, especially in Sai Kung, the geopark. We had a problem at the High Island Reservoir East Dam. Many visitors had to wait for a long time for minibuses. They wanted to take taxis, but then the taxi drivers charged them exorbitant prices. The government did take action swiftly, but it shows how we do not have adequate planning for the more remote attractions. We should have flexible transport arrangements. We can perhaps have environmentally friendly motorcycles convey passengers. Can we also have more bicycle rental stations so that people can rent bicycles to get around? This will also help alleviate the traffic in the area. Sai Kung has many resources to be tapped into. We said before, say, Park Lap 1, it is also a good ecological attraction, but it is not accessible at the moment. Is it possible for people to be dropped off in the restricted zone rather than outside the restricted zone? We can perhaps have a pier that can allow water access. We also need to develop Yumtinzai and other islands. We have many remote villages that have houses that can be developed into B&Bs so that visitors can embrace that side of Hong Kong. We now have many different plans for the tourist hotspots as well as for the tourism industry. Now we have to implement them. We need to accommodate the needs of tourists and polish the brand of Hong Kong in tourism. I speak in support of the original motion and the amendments. Mr. Stanley Lee. I very much agree that we need to reinforce Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidate Hong Kong's position as a primary tourism destination. I therefore support the original motion and the amendments. We are seeking transformation and we are faced with fierce competition from neighboring regions. Under the strategic framework of the outline development plan for the GBA and culture and tourism development plan for the GBA, there are in the motion and amendments many different areas of concern, and I very much agree what we need to develop tourism further in the directions stated. We have seen recently significant changes in travel patterns. We do not have as many tourists coming to Hong Kong for shopping. Many of them come here for immersive tourism. On 20th of May, the chief executive said we have 16 million visitors for the first 4 months. It is a 10% increase year on year. And we have mainland visitors of 12 million people and non-mainland visitors of 4 million people. They have both seen, the figures have both seen significant increases. We need to promote multi-destination tourism because that would leverage on the resources of the GBA and tap into the role of Hong Kong as a super connector. If we can integrate our resources, we should have characteristic tourism products to attract more visitors. We also need to adopt plus tourism by combining elements of culture, sports, ecology, and mega events. It will attract more visitors and promote integration of the various elements. I also agree with what was said by Ms. Elizabeth Quat. We need to integrate tourism with low altitude economy and enhance the attractiveness of Hong Kong's tourism. We will see explosive growth of tourism. It is anticipated that the mainland market will be at $3.5 trillion. We have also the Shenzhen area being a hub of drones. We have 1,000 odd islands and 1,800 kilometers of coastline. We are well poised to develop ecological tourism. If we can have drones to let people see the beautiful vista of Victoria Harbour and the coastlines of outlying islands, it will definitely be attractive. It will also alleviate land traffic. It also heeds the cause of Director Hon YIU Pak-leung to develop tourism in Hong Kong. It can also bring about some supply chain integration. We can nurture more professional talents. It will also help develop multi-destination tourism in the GBA. We have some examples such as Project Skyrim in the UK and Shenzhen low altitude technology demonstrates the competence of such technology. We will, by developing this kind of tourism, attract more drone enterprises to come to Hong Kong. It will also boost tourism and economy in the end. I believe the motion would respond to national needs in different areas. It also ties in with the national strategic policy. We can develop new quality productive forces. We can move on from previously a traditional tourism destination to a more multifaceted tourism destination. I so submit speaking in support of the motion and amendments. Mr. Tong Li-Tze. I first would like to thank Mr. YIU Pak-leung for proposing the original motion. The motion is quite comprehensive. As a member of the surveying and engineering sector, I would like to focus on infrastructure. The Highland Reservoir East Dam has become a popular destination recently, and we've seen during the weekends there is serious traffic congestion. And we recently talked about having infrastructure such as a pier facilitating water access and alleviating land traffic. But I understand that the suggestion was shut down right away by the secretary, because if we are to have more tourism facilities in Pak-leung, that will hurt the nature in the area. So what should we do? I all along think that development and conservation can coexist. I think we can strike a balance by doing something. It should not be an excuse for not doing anything. I all along criticize that the conservation policy of Hong Kong is too restrictive. They have designated conservation areas, and they think by only doing that it will be conservation. It does not allow for access by citizens, and because there is less traffic, the areas are often poorly managed or used for other purposes. We have seen the government practicing a more proactive conservation approach. I do appreciate that. I hope that we can see results soon. We also want to see tourists going to attractions that are, say, buildings that would integrate both Chinese and Western cultural elements. The 9 projects to be implemented by the Working Group on Developing Tourist Hotspots also include some historic buildings. We shouldn't only protect the buildings. We need to actually conserve the buildings. We should not just cordon off the buildings. We need to revitalize the buildings, allow people's access to the buildings so that people can better understand the background and history of the buildings and tap into the potential of the buildings. We have seen the government trying to revitalize historic buildings by engaging the business sector, but there are many restrictions, and many projects that were launched had to close down because of the lackluster profit potential. Unlike mainland, we are unable to make historic buildings into buildings that would combine F&B, retail, and the actual historic building. We have seen the government inviting expressions of interest for, say, Landmark Island. The idea was first floated in about 10 years ago, but there were too many restrictions, so there wasn't much interest. Have the government gauged the financial viability of the project to see if it is actually profitable? I think the government needs to adopt a mindset that conservation and development can coexist and review the financial viability of the project with the restrictions. The government needs to understand the market better so that we can actually develop tourism better. I speak in support of the motion and amendments. Thank you.
Mr. Yim Kong, thank you. I thank Mr. YIU Pak-leung for moving the motion. The tourism market has been recovering very rapidly recently. The government expects that there will be 50 million visitors who will come to Hong Kong this year. Compared to 61 million people in 2018, there is still room for growth. So how can we reinforce our role as international tourism hub so that we can become a world-class premier tourism destination? I think that all sectors should work together to achieve this goal. We are expanding the visa-free arrangements to many different mainland cities. As we develop tourist spots, we should promote multi-destination tourism to give full play to the functions of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge and the Express Rail Link. All these infrastructures have high carrying capacity. Take marine tourism as an example that has Lingnan culture as the medium. We should promote it with full efforts. We must make good use of our open policy on professional services. Say, for example, we should promote mutual recognition of qualifications. We should achieve common monitoring and supervision of marine tourism. Yesterday, 9 tourist hotspots projects was being announced. I think that we should promote eco and cultural tourist spots with local characteristics. We should learn from Singapore and Japan in encouraging the service sector to offer friendly services. That will will enhance our image so that visitors can have a good time here. Also, I think that we should improve the connection between the 3-runway system and the cruise terminal. We should offer express rail link, air ticket, cruise ticket packages. We should improve the electronic payment mechanism for our visitors. We should offer a one-stop tourism platforms so that visitors can choose the right spots to go, and this is essential for our development. As we promote the development of mega events, I think that we should invite top stars and celebrities from all around the world to organize concerts here. We should also strive to have F1 games in Hong Kong and cards game so that we can attract high-spending visitors. Apart from that, we should have regards to the flow of visitors and develop an analysis model on the tourism or tourist flow so that there will be a balanced development of the industry. While we develop our business sector, we should make sure that our carrying capacity is not exhausted. We should strike a balance between the lives of the locals and developing tourism. As we're extending the number of cities covered under the visa-free arrangements and the improvement of the mainland cities, many visitors are more interested to visit China, and I believe that more and more people will come to Hong Kong to stop over. So I think that we should promote multi-destination tourism so that visitors will treat Hong Kong as their first stop before they enter the mainland. I so speak in support of the original motion and the amendments. Ms. Judy Chan. Thank you, President. I speak in support of Mr. YIU Pak-leung's original motion on reinforcing Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidating its position as a world-class premier tourism destination. This term, government attaches a lot of importance to the development of tourism. They launched a series of measures, such as the development blueprint for Hong Kong tourism industry 2.0 and the Working Group on Developing Tourist Hotspots just announced the 9 tourist hotspots projects. I think that these shows that our government is very proactive in upgrading our industry, and they are working hard in turning Hong Kong into an attractive tourist city. As mentioned by the Chief Secretary for Administration, visitors stay on average 3 days in Hong Kong, so this shows that we are attractive in general. The per capita spending of overnight visitors see a stable growth, and only by this can we attract more high-spending visitors to come to enhance the contribution of our tourism industry to our economy. I see that the government is trying to cater to the latest trends and to encourage visitors to spend more. I think that we can develop tourism products with local characteristics. Say, for example, cultural and historic tours, because many tourists like to go for in-depth experience. They go to old districts. So I think that we should organize, say, for example, guided tours so that visitors know more about our history and culture. Central Kowloon City districts have a lot of these heritage projects. So I hope that young people will become tour guides on water-friendly culture. Our Victoria Harbour is very beautiful and the water quality is very high. So I think that the government can promote water sports and harbourfront leisure activities. We can also offer a sailing experience. Many visitors only spend a few days here. I looked up the internet and I found that there are many yachts for lease that offer catering service. We talk about blue-green tourism these days, but not many yachts bring these visitors to remote islands, and they don't have tour guides on board. So I hope that the government will look into this. I just talked about blue-green tourism. I hope also the government will promote eco-tourism. I think that we should enhance our water bodies and promote island hopping tourism, as well as develop more tourism projects so that our natural resources will not go to waste. In addition, tourism development is not just about attracting more tourists. We should ensure that they have a good time in Hong Kong. We should offer language training courses for people who cater to Southeast Asian visitors. I think that our local tourist guides should know more about our own history. We should also implement information technology. By having smart tourism, visitors' experience can be improved. I fully support the motion. I hope that we will all work together to consolidate our position as a premier tourism destination. I so submit. Mr. Joephy Lam. Mr. Joephy Lam. Thank you, President. I speak in support of the motion on reinforcing Hong Kong's role as international tourism hub. We are faced with opportunities and challenges. We have to work on hardware, facilities, and policy support. We must make good use of our coastline and islands to promote the upgrade and transformation of the tourism industry. We should promote an infrastructure-led approach. We have 263 islands here. Many of them have beautiful sceneries with unique ecology. However, due to insufficient transport infrastructures, it's difficult for these visitors to visit these islands. They'd rather go to tourist hotspots in the urban area. So I think that the government should build infrastructures and improve the pier so that we can unleash the potential of these islands. The Kaosai village in Sai Kung, there's a pier there that it used to be very small and dilapidated. During peak seasons, the vessels could not berth at the pier, and it's difficult for visitors to access the islands. After the pier has been redeveloped, the economy and the tourism industry there have been improved. We have 223 piers that is going to be redeveloped, and many of them will be completed next year. And I hope that the government will roll out the next round of pier redevelopment project. We should also learn from the bar hopping experience in other countries by linking up different islands so that visitors can go hiking, shop for seafood, and eat on the same day. Due to geographical and historical reasons, the 263 islands are under the purview of 11 district councils. Village representatives are stationed in different rural committees. Tourism Board, Home Affairs Department, Agricultural Fisheries and Department are involved. I think that we should develop a development work task force, just like what we have for Lantau. We should assign a commissioner to develop island tourism. Second, we should deepen ecotourism development. Our country have many support measures for us, and we have just relaxed the visa arrangement for Shenzhen residents. During the Golden Week, we have seen a record high number of visitors. 40% of visitors actually opt for ecotourism, and many of them also like historical and cultural experience. We have a world-class geopark, mangrove wetland park. I think that we should develop all these resources. Ecotourism can integrate the concepts of conservation and tourism, and this will allow us to bring in capital for conservation and preservation of our natural resources. The mainland has been developing sustainable tourism. They have been promoting online reservations for tourist hotspots and encourage visitors to go to tourist hotspots during off-peak season. I think that we should introduce this type of system, and we should also train tourist guides in Hong Kong so that they will tell good stories of our natural resources. Also, I think that we should roll out green consumption vouchers. President, tourism is a driver of our economy. We have to collaborate with the business sector, and we have to relax restrictions. The business sector is willing to work with the government developing new products. As long as we provide tourists with a good experience, we can definitely enhance our role. Thank you.
Mr. Chen Yong. Thank you, President. I thank the Undersecretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism and their team. I thank Mr. Perry Yiu for moving the motion, and I thank the amenders for the amendments. The motion is on reinforcing Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidating our position as a world-class premier destination. We want to let visitors come to Hong Kong to experience the tourism of different areas, namely our sky, our sea, our culture, and our history. In addition to our sea, we have a green environment. This is one of our attractiveness. We also have 6 giant pandas gifted to us by the central authorities, and the pandas are of different ages. That's our special characteristics. We see that international wildlife organizations use giant pandas as their icon. There is also the red tourism. This is the 80th anniversary of our victory of Wall of Resistance. That is our key area. Well, in addition to our coastline economy, our green economy, we have horse racing economy. In addition to that, we have our financial economy. We also have a long history. Well, there were activities in Hong Kong back in the Qin dynasty. All the way through to the Song dynasty, there has been recorded activities in Hong Kong. In addition, we have the geopark. We have archaeological sites. We have tourism everywhere. The presidency has already said that tourism is an integrated industry. Mr. Jolly talks about deepening cooperation with the GBA. Well, I've already talked about red tourism, the 80th anniversary of Wall of Resistance. We have the National Games. We have to expand our capacity. We also talk about yacht economy. Well, the largest yacht has visited Hong Kong. There is also the GBA. There is also the Southeast Asia. We have hotels. We have the geopark in Sai Kung. We need to expand our capacity. We have an area of over 1,000 square kilometers. We have an increasing number, an increase by 30%. We can see that. During the 2 sessions, state leaders said that, well, if there are more relaxations for for residents of larger cities to come to Hong Kong, then it will be done. We've been successful. I just hope that there will be more. I talked about tourism of different colors. I talk about tourism in everywhere. I talk about passing the baton. And there is also the low-altitude economy advocated by Ms. Elizabeth QUAT. I do believe that we can strive to develop our economy as well as our development. Ms. Darili, I speak in support of Mr. Perry Yu's motion as well as the various amendments. This council attaches importance of promoting Hong Kong as an international tourism city. I support the work of the government. There was a saying that tourism-led GDP growth was lackluster, so we need to shift our focus onto other sectors. I don't agree with that. Yes, contribution of the tourism industry to GDP has not been high, but when it comes to promoting activities in the hotel industry, retail, catering, tourism plays an important role. Well, boosting Hong Kong's image as a tourism hub will also enhance our image. This is conducive to attracting enterprises and talents. So there are lots of ancillary effects brought by tourism. This is also a good platform for us to tell good stories of Hong Kong as well as the good stories of one country, two systems. We need to keep up our good work. We can always do better. This sum of government attaches importance to the work of tourism. There is the development blueprint. There is also the working group on developing tourist hotspots. I commend their work. They have promulgated the 9 projects. They have seriously considered all the different factors before making the decision. Tourists love to Hong Kong to see our history of one country, two systems. And they always go to the Old Town Central. There is also the Pink Trumpet Tree Garden. It can be combined with the waterfront promenade on the Hong Kong Island. The garden just next door is very attractive, not just to tourists but to local people as well. The Victoria Park Bazaar is also very attractive. I'm sure visitors will go to Causeway Bay as well. We can combine it with intangible heritage. It's very close to Tai Hang, where there is the Fire Dragon dance. I hope that this Feast of 9 projects will be done better. We can also merge collective wisdoms of the community with it. There is the in-depth travel in Kowloon City. I really appreciate that. In Kowloon City, we have the Kai Tak Sports Park. So we have concerts, sports events. This is a must-visit location. There are also new developments in Kowloon City. We have the youth portal. I look forward to a series of activities being launched to create a synergy. That was an exercise to invite expressions of interest for the cruise terminal. I hope that this will give the boost we need. Give us the boost we need. Well, I've criticized the government because the cruise terminal is underused. If we combine new ideas with our traditional wisdoms, we will see breakthrough. In addition to the 9 projects, I think the government needs to leverage on community wisdom. There's not enough time. I will elaborate on other platforms. Well, there is the Red Tourism. This is the 80th anniversary. Mr. Stephen Ho. I speak in support of Mr. Perry Yu's motion on reinforcing Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidating its position as a world-class destination. There has been criticism saying that perhaps we should shift our focus from tourism onto financial services in other areas. I've been saying that there is a monotonous development of our economic development. And if we don't diversify, then it will not be doing ourselves any good. I ask the government not to listen to these comments with no merits. And of course, when it comes to our financial industries, there is some calcification in the way people think. A few days ago, there was the 9 projects from the working group. We have in-depth travel in Kowloon City. We also have the 4 peaks. We don't lack tourist spots. Of course, it's always good to have new ones. Friends from different parts of the world, when they come to Hong Kong, complain about the high accommodation fees. They don't want to spend too much on accommodation, but they would like to spend money on a better experience. Well, we're not cheap compared to our neighboring cities. It's not about creating more tourist spots. Not that it's not bad to have. Not that it's a bad thing to have more ones. But I think they would rather spend more time on maybe have another meal or go to different places. Some guest house owners told me that when there is a change of policy, it's very difficult for them to make changes and obtain necessary licenses. Perhaps Ms. Law, the secretary, will take that on board. I've told the government it's not the case that I don't support a Symphony of Hong Kong. It's costing us a lot of money. But we can engage the private sector. The private sector can pay to lease the airspace for a short period of time. We can use market force because the market force is more adaptable. We have to, of course, make sure that it's properly regulated because it's about the image of Hong Kong. Island hopping is an area that we need to work on. Well, the marine law is very outdated. Well, there has been some incidents with overcrowding on these kaitos. Collisions is something that we've heard of as well. When it comes to building facilities, all you get is just another pier. Perhaps the bureau can work with the development bureau. Well, the government can create new projects. We have rich resources in marine ecology. There is not much coordination. Perhaps the secretary will need to approach the development bureau. Well, I've been to the typhoon shelter, where deep fried crab is an attraction. But it's very difficult to get some restaurant boats to moor there. It's very difficult.
Your time is up. Mr. Kenneth Leung, thank you. I thank Mr. YIU Pak-leung for proposing the original motion. According to the World Tourism Federation, we have the tourism making contribution to GDP at a growth rate of 5.8%. We have also seen innovative tourism patterns. People now seek immersive tourism. We need to identify and seek change and develop new tourism resources. In the Golden Week in May, we have 1.1 million people visiting Hong Kong. It is a year-on-year increase of 22%. We have people visiting High Island Reservoir. We also see visitors going to the old and new neighborhoods of Hong Kong for a city walk. We do have the heritage that tourists like. It is all about how we can be more creative so that when people think about things, they will come to Hong Kong. We need to first gauge the background of tourists. According to a recent survey, we have many young travelers these days. It accounts for 20% of the number of travelers. According to a Chinese tourism survey, departing mainland visitors, 83% of the outgoing travelers, they are between the ages of 23 to 41. They frequently travel, but they take shorter trips. This is a new pattern. So we need to tie in with this. We need to change up our attractions more frequently. We also need to make sure tourism can be immersive so that people will find different treasures when they come to Hong Kong. We should also promote on social media and encourage people to share their experiences on social media to build up our reputation. These may not have been included in the development blueprint for Hong Kong's tourism industry, but I think these are measures that will target young travelers. We should also make a breakthrough through educational travel. According to a 2016 Chinese paper, educational travel has been included in the primary and secondary school curriculum in mainland China. So this has now become a new pattern. And the development blueprint for Hong Kong's tourism industry said the government would look into developing educational travel in Hong Kong. We have many different positioning that have great potential for educational travel. For example, I&D Hub, as well as a Center for Cultural Exchange. We can have different educational tours that can tap into these different areas. Accommodation will be very important for tourism. We have the youth posts that will be commissioned that will increase the capacity for accommodating educational travel groups. I hope that this is just a starting point. In future, that we should have more accommodation for educational travel for, say, sister schools. We can also enhance collaboration with mainland cities in the Greater Bay Area to have multi-destination educational travel tours for better cultural exchange. We see immersive tourism being a focus of travelers these days. We have seen recently the tram company having new experiences for tourists that incorporate local cultural elements. It is a kind of approach that would provide a different experience for tourists. We need the support of bureaus and departments for this. We need to relax the relevant restrictions. I hope the government can adopt a breakthrough mindset to have different kinds of activities so that we can consolidate Hong Kong's position as an international tourism hub. I speak in support of the motion amendments. Thank you. Mr. Kenneth Fok. Thank you, Mr. YIU Pak-leung, for proposing this motion. I think it is the right time to talk about developing tourism. According to the news reports, the Working Group on Developing Tourist Hotspots is implementing 9 projects. many members talked about this. I won't go into details, but I very much support the initiative. I personally would like to focus on Hong Kong's role as a hub and how we can be world-class. As you may know, between 2000 and 2010, we have the Middle East, Abu Dhabi, specifically developing their economy. They want to position themselves as a high-end transfer hub. And my first time in Abu Dhabi was because I was going to visit Europe and I had to transit in the Middle East. And with 10 years of build up, people now often transit at Middle East. We have such connection schemes in Abu Dhabi, or say the various connect schemes that would facilitate transit passengers. Hong Kong used to be a great transit location. There are people going to Europe through Hong Kong or going to Australia through Hong Kong. Unfortunately, the figures are not so good. We have transit passengers decreased significantly over the years from 31% to now a very low digit. And according to 2024 figures, we have Mr. Barachi, who said Dubai is continues to be first in transit, second Haneda Airport in Japan, third in Guangzhou Baiyun Airport, and fourth Singapore Airport. We are now lower than Singapore. And before the pandemic, we have 7.46 transit passengers, and now we have only 550 million people, and we have seen a recovery in the tourist levels. We should see a rebound in transit passengers. We have a world-class airport, but why is it that our figures are so abysmal? We can't really have people coming back to Hong Kong for transit. We are working hard, but then other neighboring regions are working even harder. So we have fierce competition. When there are new flight routes in Guangzhou, there would be government subsidies. I'm not asking the Hong Kong SAR government to subsidize more flight routes, but I think the government needs to play a bigger role to reinforce Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub. People's first concern would be price. So ticket prices would come into play. I don't have much time, so I will be succinct. During the pandemic, we have seen flight prices in Hong Kong go up. After the pandemic, outside Hong Kong in neighboring regions, the flight tickets have become cheaper. That has attracted people back to those locations. We are a free market, so the government cannot really ask the airlines to lower their prices, but I think we need to do something about this. We need to review the competitiveness of the airline ticket prices in Hong Kong. We now have the 3-runway system. We will soon have a Skytopia. We need to consider how Hong Kong should be developed as an international aviation hub to make sure we have an appropriate number of flight routes and lower the prices of airline tickets to attract not only visitors to Hong Kong but also transit passengers, especially transit passengers who would spend the night here. This will then help us leverage on our attractions. I support the motion. Your time is up. Dr. So Chang-wing. The country has visa exemption policies to attract foreign visitors to come to China. Last year, we have 27 million visitors coming to China. It is a year-on-year increase of 96%. China has become a new popular destination of tourists from all over the world. In Q1 of this year, the year-on-year increase in number of visitors is 40%. We can see exponential growth here. Hong Kong as an international tourism hub and the core demonstration zone for multi-destination tourism, we have great potential to tap into. The CSTB Secretary, Ms. Rosanna Law, earlier this year answered my question on multi-destination tourism, said Hong Kong will leverage on its role as a connector between China and the world and would facilitate more tourists to come to Hong Kong and have Hong Kong become a transit location or the first stop for multi-destination tourism. I hope the government can do more. We need to tap into the opportunities brought by mainland China. We have people going to the mainland from Hong Kong or going in to the rest of the world through Hong Kong, and Hong Kong will be a stop either way. Hong Kong therefore has a great customer base. It is about how we can increase our attractiveness so that people will truly want to embrace the charm of Hong Kong. The development blueprint for Hong Kong's tourism industry 2.0 is very comprehensive. There is not much I can say about the blueprint, but I think I have some suggestions for some enhancements. One, we can rationalize and consolidate our advantages and resources. Say, we have been talking about the harborfront and our islands, how we can better develop them and promote them. We need to provide more diversified experiences and make the experiences more unique so that we can be irreplaceable. We also need to have systematic policy to ensure there is an adequate supply of tourism practitioners and ensure the quality of services. We used to be so proud of our standard of services and we used to have good reputation. Now we see a decline in such reputation. We therefore do not have as many repeated visitors because we fail to secure that loyalty. We need the government to do more in terms of policy. I suggest the government establish a big data platform to identify high potential visitor source markets and specific target groups and identify the needs of different visitor source markets and promulgate specific strategies. With this data advantage, we can enhance the events to be held as well as make sure there are facilities that meet the needs of these visitors, such as F&B facilities. With the data, we can also have more guidelines promulgated for the tourism industry. I so submit, speaking in support of Mr. YIU Pak-leung's original motion and the amendments.
Mr. Edmund Wong. Thank you, Madam Deputy. Hong Kong as a city where East meets West, with traditional and modern characteristics, has a convenient, comprehensive customs clearance and immigration procedures. If we consolidate our advantages, will be well positioned to develop into an international tourism hub. We should collaborate with the Greater Bay Area so that we can connect the mainland with the rest of the world. I thank Mr. Yu for moving today's motion so that we can talk about how we can reinforce our role as an international tourism hub and consolidate our position as a world-class premier tourism destination. As the country's tourism board relaxed the visa-free arrangements from 72 and 144 hours to 240 hours, Hong Kong, as an important aviation hub in the Asian region, we have frequent flight between our city and other parts of the world. We can become an important transit hub for visitors who go to the mainland. So the tourism board and the trade should work on implementing the 240 visa-free arrangements so that we can create a multi-destination tourism routes. Say, for example, cruise plus Greater Bay Area or Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau packages. This is how we can give full play to our function as an aviation hub and a cruise port. This will enrich visitors' experience and enhance our competitiveness against other cities in the mainland. Hong Kong must reinforce our collaboration with cultural authorities in the mainland. At the same time, we should leverage on our own advantages. Hong Kong became an international metropolis from a small fishing village. Marine and ocean resources are essential. We have 263 islands, 722 kilometers of coastline. We have a beautiful Victoria Harbor. We also have a tranquil Tai O fishing village. We also have the UNESCO Geopark in Hong Kong. This will allow global visitors to gain various experience spending just 1 to 2 hours in our city. All these are our unique advantages. If we continue to leverage on our Kai Tak cruise terminal, then we can develop marine tourism and economy. This will enhance the competitiveness of our tourism trade, and this will reinforce our role as an international tourism hub in the Greater Bay Area. Mr. Stephen Ho put the same question in the council meeting last week. I think that we should develop diversified mode of tourism. That's what Mr. Kenneth Fox said. I will not repeat them. I hope that the government will roll out various measures to enhance our competitiveness and allow our visitors to experience our unique charm as a pearl of the East. I also think that we should promote a multi-destination tourism, and hopefully visitors will see Hong Kong as the best destination in their journey in Asia. I speak in support of the motion and the amendments. Mr. Kenneth Lau. Madam Deputy, during the Labor Day Golden Week last month, we recorded about 1.1 million visitors. That's a 20% growth compared to the year before. This has created impetus for the growth of tourism and economy. Many tourist spots in Hong Kong see great congestion during the week. This shows that there is room for improvement for our software and hardware. There are many visitors who come for low-budget travel, so I think that we should review our policies, and the trade have to adapt to the new mode of travel from visitors. I think that we should consolidate our experience in the Golden Week and look into how we can develop tourism and improve our infrastructure so that we can maintain our long-term competitiveness. I think that the government should work on expanding the carrier capacity of our air, sea, and land infrastructures to provide a more diversified experience for visitors. On the development of marine tourism, I moved a motion asking the government to make full use of our marine resources to develop island tourism, yacht tourism, and cruise tourism. The Guangdong Marine Authority just promulgated the visa individual yacht visit scheme. They are going to develop, upgrade, and transform cruise tourism and yacht tourism in the Greater Bay Area. They are promoting the free travel of yachts and cruise in the Greater Bay Area. I think that the government should also look into develop similar policies. Also, we are developing this blue-green eco-recreational corridor. We have these Myers Bay eco-tourism development and Robin's Nest Country Parks. We should all make good use of these resources to develop new mode of tourism, such as island hopping tours. By this, we can develop a tourism zone. Recently, the government has been developing mega event tourism. We have many events organized. We have Kai Tak Sports Park. We have Hong Kong Coliseum, Asia World Expo. All these venues are close to the ocean. I think that we should make good use of these advantages and develop a water sports center and yacht tourism along our waterfront promenade. We should encourage high-spending visitors to come to Hong Kong by developing these areas so that we can create unique experience for them. On the development of ecotourism, we have this documentary of 4 trails. It was very popular. These hiking trails are extremely beautiful. And the documentary has been very well received. Apart from these 4 hiking trails and the High Island Reservoir East Dam, Chateau Coq also has a lot to offer. However, because of its remote location and accessible transport, there aren't that many visitors who go there. So I think that the government should improve the infrastructures by expanding or widening the roads and increasing minibus and bus routes and improve the water supply and power supply infrastructures. We should also develop accommodations and catering industries there. Madam Deputy, new territories span across very large areas. We have many islands with a low density. We have all the conditions to develop low altitude economy there. So I think that the government should look into it. I also suggest that at Myers Bay and Chateau Coq, we should develop a low altitude sightseeing journey so that people can appreciate the beautiful scenery of new territories. Madam Deputy, I so speak in support of the motion and the amendments. Mr. Paul Chair. The motion said that we should reinforce Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidate our position as a world-class premier tourism destination. Mr. Yu represents the tourism industry. I think that rather than reinforcing and consolidating, I think that we should reshape our industry. In 2008, I represented the tourism trade. The industry said that it seems that we have only a single source of visitors. How can we attract tourists from South Korea, Japan, and other countries? It seems that we have not achieved any breakthrough in this area, and the situation is worsening. We aren't a world-class tourism destination anymore. How can we rebrand ourselves? I have to declare interest. I am a person in charge of an inbound travel agency. I'm not trying to talk about attractions, tourist spots, because everyone has their own views. I'd just like to talk about a few concepts. When we talk about tourism or other developments, they should be for the interest of the people. Tourism may drive the economy of Hong Kong and enhance our image, promote exchanges. But what impact would it cause to local residents? It would be best if there are more pros than cons, but as we see, there's often over-tourism in some of the popular tourism destinations. We have to strike a balance. Sometimes, when we see a lot of visitors, there may not be many business opportunities. The second thing that I'd like to talk about is what other members have mentioned. A person said that the tourism trade only contribute 2% of the GDP, used to contribute 3.4% to our GDP. But actually, the tourism industry will drive the development of other industry, and it will create job opportunities. I clearly and deeply understand this. But making use of the 2080 rule, when the economy is weak, we should work on things that are easier to improve. We should not blindly focus on a single topic. People may, as a result, feel that Hong Kong's economy is prospering just because the city is crowded, when the truth may says otherwise. Third, how can we attract tourists and visitors? We must provide authentic experience. If we want to attract high-end visitors, we have to offer not man-made experience, but authentic experience. Mainland visitors, when they come to Hong Kong, they like to look at or appreciate buildings in the colonial days. They like to experience Lan Kwai Fong because there are many expats and foreign visitors there. Locals like to go to the wet markets with live chickens. They like to go to typhoon shelters. They also like to appreciate neon signs on the streets. Fourth, Director Xia Baolong talked about tourism is everywhere. It doesn't mean that we should develop tourism in every single district. What he meant to say is that our city as a whole should be a destination. We should be able to offer, say, cultural experience, lifestyle experience. When we visit Paris, we'd be happy just sitting at a cafe, drinking coffee, because we can appreciate how people live there. In order for us to attract high-end visitors, we must give full play to our role as an international metropolis. Your time is up. Does any other members wish to speak?
If not, Mr. YIU Pak-leung, you may now speak on the amendments. Mr. YIU Pak-leung. Thank you, Deputy President. I thank Ms. CHAN Yuet-ming, Ms. Elizabeth QUAT, and Ms. Joephy Chan proposing amendments, and the 30-odd members who have spoken on the motion. Ms. CHAN Yuet-ming talked about two specific points. One, we should make good use of the flow of people brought about by land boundary control points. I very much agree with that. I see Ms. CHAN Yuet-ming also talked about how we can have more cross-border mega events in the eastern and western parts of the northern metropolis. For example, we can have more hiking activities at the Robin's Nest Country Park. Apart from this, there are many opportunities for collaboration between mainland China and Hong Kong on this. I visited mainland China quite frequently, and I had exchanges with the authorities. Tourists are actually very interested in traveling to, say, Cat O, Apcho, and we also want to develop Shuttlecock, the specific tourism products that would feature Chongying Street. We want to adopt an innovative mindset to not only have group travels in Chongying Street. We want to have boundary tours. We can perhaps have a specific tourism cooperation zone. We want to make sure we leverage on our unique tourism resources in Shuttlecock and work with Shenzhen to have, say, specific tours that would have specific routes, and they would travel in groups to facilitate the tours. Ms. Elizabeth Quat's amendments are about how the government should also actively explore the integration of tourism with the low-altitude economy. I thank Ms. Elizabeth Quat for engaging with me to do something about this. Say, Southern Lantau, these are specific locations that we can test out low-altitude economy applications. Low-altitude travel is a driving force for transformation of the tourism industry. When we talk about low-altitude economy applications, it's not just about low-altitude aircraft or drones. It can also feature, say, balloons, paragliding, water aircraft, light shows, zip lines, cable cars. These low-altitude travel applications would make tourism more 3D rather than just being restricted to something on land. This is an innovative travel mode that we can tap into. Unfortunately, with legislative restrictions, it is very hard to introduce these new activities. And we have seen many destinations, blue and green destinations that are popular, that would have low altitude facilities available, and I think these can be a part of us developing low altitude travel. I hope the government will relax their restrictions so that we can incorporate new elements in travel and provide more diversified experiences to tourists. Deputy President, we need to focus on products and provide high quality services. Right now, the problem with the industry is we cannot attract enough people to join the industry. So I very much support what Ms. Joephy Chan said. We need to strengthen training for practitioners, attract more new blood to join the industry, and make good use of our existing resources. Tourism Board can leverage on its resources to help the trade nurture more talents and attract new blood to the industry. This is something that is very pressing that we must take action on. We have been promoting more recognition for practitioners in the qualifications framework. I speak in support of the amendments.
旅遊局局
Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. Thank you, Madam Deputy. I thank Mr. YIU Pak-leung for moving the motion, Ms. CHAN Yuet-ming, Ms. Elizabeth Quat, and Ms. Joephy Chan for moving the amendments. I also thank the 33 members for their valuable comments and suggestions. I now give a consolidated reply. Hong Kong's tourism development has been based on the core concept of tourism is everywhere, with a view to fully reinforce Hong Kong's position as a world-class tourist destination. In the following, I will elaborate on how Hong Kong can strengthen its role as an international tourism hub and create a more attractive and sustainable travel experience for global travelers from three perspectives: policy, industry development, and international cooperation. On policy and infrastructures, the Central People's Government promulgated the Outline Development Plan for the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area in February 2019. In December 2020, Culture and Tourism Development Plan for the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Greater Bay Area was published, which sets out the directions guiding the overall culture and tourism development of the GBA. Both documents explicitly support Hong Kong's in developing into an international tourism hub and a core demonstration zone for multi-destination tourism. The Hong Kong Tourism Industry Development Blueprint 2.0 was released in December last year that identifies four major strategies: an international city tourism hub and a core area for a multi-destination tourism, a city that highlights the irreplaceable and unique elements of local culture characteristics and capitalizes on Hong Kong's position as a center for exchange of Chinese and Western arts and culture. We have an important geographical location. We have implemented a number of key measures to improve our transport network. On the aviation front, the Hong Kong International Hub has achieved record highs in flight and passenger throughput since COVID, with a peak of passenger traffic having fully restored the pre-pandemic level. After 8 years of construction, the airport's three-runway system officially commissioned in November 2024. Since its commissioning, we operated very smoothly during the peak travel seasons of Christmas and Chinese New Year's. The carrying capacity has significantly improved, and this strengthens our position as one of the world's largest and most important aviation hubs. In addition, the government and the airport authority have been implementing enhancement measures to attract passengers to choose the international airport. We will adopt a more forward-looking perspective in developing and expanding our aviation network. We are going to enhance our service on major routes, and we will make early preparations to discuss and optimize civil aviation agreements for existing major routes and potential Belt and Road countries, as well as strengthen our air service links with relevant regions. We will also strive to develop an integrated intermodal transportation network. We'll leverage on the development of Airport City by utilizing the airport island and the adjacent land and sea area to develop new highlights, integrating high-end commercial, arts, tourism, and leisure activities with a focus on the aviation industry with a view to attracting business and leisure travelers from all over the world and country to make a stopovers in Hong Kong or to transit through our city, thereby enhancing our role as a bridge between our country and the rest of the world in the areas of commerce, trade, tourism, and culture. In addition, the Hong Kong section of the Express Rail Link has entered into a new era of cross-boundary rail links between Hong Kong and the mainland since its commissioning in 2018. The Hong Kong section connects the West Kowloon Station to 93 direct stations across the country. With its convenient, efficient, and comfortable service, the Hong Kong section has attracted a large number of travelers and is an important part of 1 hour living circle of the Greater Bay Area. This has strengthened Hong Kong's position as a regional transportation hub. The government and the railway authorities on the mainland will continue to actively monitor the development of the Express Rail Link to further increase the number of direct stations of the Hong Kong section. We will optimize the service in a timely manner to provide more diversified choices and services to passengers and to fully utilize its social economic benefits. The well-established transportation network also provide favorable conditions for the development of multi-destination tourism. On this front, in October 2024, the Ministry of Commerce of the People's Republic of China and the SAR government signed the second amendment to the Mainland and Hong Kong Closer Economic Partnership Agreement, Trades and Service Agreement, Amendment 2, which extends the applicability of the 144-hour visa-free arrangements to the entirety of Guangdong Province and provides entry and exit facilitations for mainland travel agents to meet the needs of the mainland tourists at the express rail link station in West Kowloon. The measures will help promote cooperation between the travel trade in Hong Kong and the mainland in developing multi-destination itineraries and make good use of our comprehensive cross-boundary transportation infrastructure and rich tourism resources to promote multi-destination tourism among overseas visitors. Thus, TSTB will continue to actively complement the national policy direction and seek further enhancements on the basis of the existing 144-hour visa-free arrangements so as to fulfill our role as a bridge to strengthen tourism cooperation and exchanges between mainland provinces and municipalities as well as Hong Kong. In addition, the CSTB has been working with the Hong Kong Tourism Board to adopt multi-pronged approach to promote multi-destination tourism in the Greater Bay Area with a view to attracting more travelers to make Hong Kong their first stop or stopover during their journey. In particular, the Tourism Board will continue to work with the trade to introduce and launch travel products or special packages for people who travel in the Greater Area so that visitors will come to Hong Kong on their way to other destinations. The Tourism Board will also continue to facilitate cooperation with the authorities of Macau and other cities through the Guangdong Hong Kong Macau Tourism promotional platform to promote Hong Kong to other cities. For example, the Tourism Board, together with representatives from various cities in Guangdong Province and Macau, went to Jakarta, Indonesia in September last year to participate in the GBA Connecting Great Experiences, showcasing the diversified tourism resources and tourism developments of the area. This year, the Tourism Board plans to promote the multi-destination model of travel in the Greater Bay Area and European cities. In addition, the Tourism Board will set up a pavilion on Greater Bay Area when participating in travel trade shows around the world so as to further strengthen its promotion in source markets. The Tourism Board will also organize familiarization visits in collaboration with Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau, as well as inviting influencers from different sorts of markets to visit the area to stimulate the development of tourism products and enhance market exposures. Many members have talked about talents. Actually, the Tourism Board is developing this docent to tourist guide bridging program, which will allow people who already have obtained the relevant professional tourist guide qualifications to become licensed tourist guides in Hong Kong. Now, in terms of international collaboration, Hong Kong as an international financial center, logistics hub, have an international business environment and free flow of capital. Riding on this foundation, we will enhance international cooperation and enhance our influence. In March and April this year, during a short 4 weeks, we organized the Museum Summit 2025. The Asia Culture Cooperation Conference and the Fragrant Summit to share with representatives from all around the world our policies. The Museum Summit 2025 participated by representatives from about 150 countries. Museum experts actually shared their experience, and 40 representatives coming from the Museum Alliance in the Greater Bay Area and ASEAN countries also participated in the summit. There were over 7,000 people who signed up for the summit. Over one-third were not from the mainland. They come from 93 different countries. The Asia Cultural Cooperation Summit have the participation of cultural ministries from all around the world. They shared their own experience, and the number of participants is the highest. As for the Fragrant Hill Summit, it is participated by representatives from 40 different countries with 800 local representatives. We have also local leaders of the tourism trade who participated. Apart from offering a staging performance during the conference, we ask and arrange for travel experience for visitors so that they can look into and have experienced our work in ecotourism. They can experience the fish village culture. They can also take the Ngongping 360 to experience Hong Kong's natural heritage and landscape. They also visited Tai Kwun Museum of Art, the Palace Museum, and the M Plus in West Kowloon Cultural District. They visited Tin Hau Temple and Tai Fu Tai in Yuen Long, as well as watched the race in Happy Valley Racecourse of the Hong Kong Jockey Club. These trips enabled the guests to experience our traditional history that is intertwined with modern landscape and the unique appeal of the convergence of Chinese and Western cultures and arts. The guests said that the trip has given them a deep impression of the unique charm and cultural diversity of Hong Kong as a world city. These international conferences and exchange activities fully demonstrated Hong Kong's important role in deepening international exchanges and cooperation and enabled the representatives of participating governments and organizations to experience Hong Kong. Now, on industry development. Through policy and infrastructure, as we consolidate our position as a tourism destination, we have to introduce diversified tourism products to attract more international visitors. The 4 strategies under the Blueprint 2.0, including plus tourism that comprises culture, sports, ecology, and mega events, mega events will definitely attract visitors and bring about economic return. Since the early this year, we have organized a series of mega events that offer many different culture and sports events that are world-class. From the opening of the Kai Tak Sports Park in early March this year, the Hong Kong Rugby Sevens in the Hong Kong Super March, the Lift Golf Hong Kong, Art Central, Art Basel, Complex Con, and the recent anticipated concerts, the industry's tourism products such as concert tickets plus hotel packages have successfully attracted many high value-added visitors from the mainland and other countries to experience our unique cultural charm and vibrancy. Half of the concert goers are visitors. When they come to Hong Kong, they are able to experience our unique cultural attractions, and this will boost footfall to other attractions. Sports events are very popular as well. The Hong Kong Football Festival 2025 is going to be organized in July this year. Liverpool, AC Milan, Arsenal, Hotspurs will come to Hong Kong. Since the announcement of the ticket sale, a football craze has been sparked in the community. The tourism board will continue to organize mega events. Through various experience and events, we're going to launch year-round thematic promotions. In early May, the tourism board launched a new website and webpage in Discovery Hong Kong. I encourage you to look it up because it highlights the world-class events and festivals that take place in Hong Kong every month. It will facilitate visitors' early planning because they will be able to see what events we have from January to December. The Tourism Board will continue to organize flagship events, including the International Dragon Boat Race, Cyclothon, Wine and Dine Festival, Winterfest, Chinese New Year Countdown, Chinese New Year Night Parade. We are also going to introduce new features to create new experience for visitors. Take the International Dragon Boat Race as an example. The Tourism Board will further increase the number of and types of races and enhance the surrounding activities. For example, we're going to add a new hotspot themed on pandas to enhance the experience of visitors and people through these more innovative elements. In the Hong Kong Wine and Dine Festival, that is organized in the Central Waterfront, we're going to bring back the Grand Pavilion, which showcases a wide range of premium wines, and the tasting room, which offers a unique dining experience to attract more high-end spending consumers and customers. We will encourage visitors to also go to nearby districts to enhance the effectiveness of the events. Apart from promoting different types of events, the government is committed to develop horse racing, panda, and island tours. Horse racing is an important cultural and entertainment activity in Hong Kong. Various competitions have international influence, attracting many international horse racing enthusiasts and tourists to come to Hong Kong. There is huge potential for attracting high value added and high spending tourists to come. I recently noticed that the Hong Kong Jockey Club, in a bid to promote horse racing tourism, has introduced 2 experience packages for overseas visitors, including the privilege package for tour groups visitors and discovery package for individual visit scheme visitors, which have been very well received. These tourism products not only attract overseas visitors to come spend, but also introduce to them our unique horse racing culture. Now, in terms of island tourism, we will make full use of our resources to develop short, medium, and long-term tourism products. In the short term, we will develop island hopping tours and other water sports activities with the support of AFCD. The CSTB organized a Sha Tao Kok Island hopping tour for the travel industry in Yantian District, Shenzhen, in December last year to visit Lai Chi Wo, Kao, and Ap Chao, and the response were very positive. Together with the Travel Industry Council, the Bureau are now working with the Yantian travel industry to prepare relevant products to attract local residents to visit our islands. The Tourism Board will also encourage the industry to develop more island hopping itineraries and launch more products this summer, such as the Sai Kong Hoi Ha Wine Glassboat Eco Tour, so that visitors can explore the beautiful coastal environment and rich and diverse ecology of our city. We are studying the policy support that is required for the development of island tours, including areas where we can remove barriers in terms of laws and regulations. Apart from island tours, we also have rich resources for the development of fishing experience. The AFCD is looking into implementing a scheme to allow mariculture licensees to operate recreational fishing business on fish rafts, and introduce enhancement measures in January this year to allow mariculturists to provide light refreshment on recreational fish rafts to guests and participating in recreational fishing. The SAR government is willing to actively promote the development of integrated resort projects, and we encourage interested parties to develop integrated resort projects on islands in Hong Kong with ecotourism as the main axle by interested organizations, and to pull the strengths of tourism industry and other business sectors to explore and facilitate different projects. We are going to offer policy support to promote the development of island tourism. At the same time, we have 2 major theme parks, the Ocean Park and the Hong Kong Disney Resort. We will bring new and richer experience to visitors. Apart from promoting panda tourism, the CSTB Ocean Park and various industries have organized a series of promotional events that is themed on come and enjoy a fantastic experience. We'd like to attract more visitors to come. The twin panda will celebrate its first birthday in November this year. We're going to launch the second round of promotional campaigns. Apart from panda tourism, we will develop infrastructures of the Ocean Park. The Ocean Park completed the tender exercise for the adventure theme zone on the peak, and the new adventure theme zone expected to be completed by 2028 or before. The theme area will capitalize on the natural topography of the park site on Brick Hill with a view of the South China Sea to create an adventure-themed world of discovery. The Ocean Park will continue to deepen its conservation and education efforts both on and off-site, and extend its services to the mainland and overseas to help Hong Kong's attractiveness as an destination for study tours and realize the plus tourism concept. As The Ocean Park will reach 20th anniversary this year, as it is embarking on global and regional promotions to invite visitors from all over the world to visit Hong Kong. Now, in terms of red tourism, this is the 18th anniversary of our victory against the war of aggression. We are preparing for a number of exhibitions, and we are consolidating our heritage resources. We leverage on these unique resources that we have to attract visitors from the mainland and all around the world to come and experience. Now, on the integration of low-altitude economy and tourism development, the Working Group on Low-Altitude Economy announced in March this year the regulatory sandbox, with the first batch of 38 pilot projects covering a wide range of areas such as emergency rescue, logistics and distribution, maintenance and safety, inspection, surveillance, and low-altitude infrastructure facilities. The CSTV will actively explore with relevant bureaus to consider incorporating plus tourism elements into low-altitude scenarios. On developing new tourism hotspots, the Working Group on Developing Tourist Hotspot, led by the Deputy Chief Secretary for Administration, announced on Tuesday 9 hotspots projects, which include outdoor, indoor, sightseeing, exploratory, ecological, and scenic attractions catering to the preferences of various tourists and making it easier for them to plan for different itineraries. The Working Group will continue to strengthen interdepartmental coordination and the implementation of the projects, as well as integrate the efforts of the community in identifying and building popular and attractive tourism hotspots in the districts. There were members who talked about the High Island Reservoir East Dam during the Golden Week. There were a lot of visitors who go there, but it was in good order. Minibus organized more routes there, and overall speaking, the demand could be met on the day. East Dam has a natural hiking trail. It will meet the holiday hikers' needs, or people who like to go there and take a photo. So we actually have a Four Corners project and a documentaries on, the Four Peaks tour project. Going there by vessel may not be the best option. People like to reach the main dam by land transport. So how can we achieve better management? Well, in my reply to the oral question, I have given members my points, and I have received some good suggestions from the members. We have islands and hiking trails. They are popular because of their natural scenery. We should not sacrifice these resources to develop tourism. We also have to work on targeted promotion, so I will talk about our strategies. Regarding the suggestion of using applications to facilitate planning of itineraries, we welcome it. The Tourism Board does not have a traditional mobile application. They use a web app, however. A web app need not to be downloaded, and it can be updated instantly. So web app has become a trend in recent years. Its functions are similar with that of a mobile application. For the short-haul markets, we will start up promotions for young and family segments and create different tourism products. For example, in the Southeast Asian markets, the Tourism Board will promote our mega events, local cuisines, hidden gems, cultural and historical tourism, religious tourism, and leverage on the attractiveness of Hong Kong's theme parks, as well as collaborate with influencers to generate positive word of mouth and partner with travel trade to launch special offers. On long-haul markets, as 80% of long-haul travelers use this multi-destinational itineraries to travel via Hong Kong to the mainland and nearby destinations in Southeast Asia, Japan, and Korea, the Tourism Board will partner with the popular Asian destinations to promote multi-destination itineraries and collaborate with airlines to offer connecting flights. Now, for emerging markets, In late April, I visited the UAE and Saudi Arabia. I met with local officials and attended the annual Arabian Travel Market 2025. I witnessed the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Tourism Board and major travel platforms and top travel agencies in the two countries and cities with a view to stepping up promotion and cooperation and attracting visitors from the Middle East to come to Hong Kong. This visit will help further explore the potential for exchanges and cooperation. The CSTB will actively promote cultural exchanges and cooperation with the relevant Middle East countries to drive two-way tourism. We will also continue to step up promotional roadshows targeting ASEAN and Middle East markets, including participating in tourism conferences and exhibitions. The board will continue to utilize the three strategies of accreditation, education, promotion to encourage the travel trade to enhance Muslim-friendly tourism packages so as to build Hong Kong into a Muslim-friendly destination. At the same time, we will proactively promote Hong Kong to Muslim markets. Since 2024, the Tourism Board has been collaborating with Crescent Ratings, an international renowned Muslim tourism promotion company, and the incorporated trustees of the Islamic Community Fund of Hong Kong, which is an authoritative local halal certification body. As at the end of April this year, more than 60 hotels and 5 attractions and conventions and exhibition centers have successfully been certified. About 170 restaurants are also halal certified. The TB will organize briefings and training seminars for the trade to help them understand the needs of Muslim travelers and to encourage and educate the trade to enhance their Muslim-friendly packages. Apart from policy guidance, the participation of different sectors and the support of the community are equally important to the sustainable development of our local industry. I thank the members once again for their invaluable and useful suggestions. The government will continue to adopt Blueprint 2.0 as the action agenda, deepen the advantages of the one country, two system principle, link up the cities in the Greater Bay Area, expand international cooperation, and make every effort to promote the development of Hong Kong at the policy, resource, and implementations level. So submit.
Now call upon Ms. CHAN Yuet-ming to move an amendment. President, I move my amendment. I propose the question to you that Ms. CHAN Yuet-ming's amendment be passed. I now put the question to you as stated. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of each of the two groups of members present. I declare the amendment passed. Ms. Elizabeth Quart, as the previous amendment has been passed, you may move your further amendment. President, I move my further amendment. I propose the question to you that Ms. Elizabeth Quart's further amendment be passed. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of each of the two groups of members present. I declare the amendment passed. Ms. Joephy Chen, as the previous amendments have been passed, you may move your further amendment. President, I move my further amendment. I now propose the question to you that Ms. Joephy Chen's further amendment be passed. With those in favor, please raise their hands. Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of each of the two groups of members present. I declare the amendment passed. Mr. YIU Pak-leung, you have 21 seconds to reply, then the debate will come to a close. Mr. YIU Pak-leung. Thank you. I again would like to thank the members who have spoken and the detailed closing remarks of the Secretary. I hope the government will heed the feedback of various stakeholders and work with stakeholders to reinforce Hong Kong's role as an international tourism hub and consolidate Hong Kong's position as a unique location for new visitors and repeat visitors alike. Your time is up. I now put the question to you that Mr. YIU Pak-leung's motion as amended by Ms. CHAN Yuet-ming, Ms. Elizabeth Quart, and Ms. Joephy Chen be passed. Will those in favor please raise their hands? Those against, please raise their hands. I think the question is agreed by a majority of each of the two groups of members present. I declare the motion as amended passed. I now adjourn the Council until 11 in the morning on Wednesday, 28th of May, 2025.